And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepa, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon
Bada 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 bada. Skiddy biddy da bado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon.
Okay, folks, good evening, wherever you are and whatever you are doing. A pleasant welcome to yet another very, very intriguing and captivating edition of your most preferred nighttime show, The Spoon Talk, right here on Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and there are various social media platforms, Spawn TV Live, Super TV Live, Fabric TV Live, and also we're coming to you via our YouTube channel, so you can catch us up on any of these platforms. This evening, to listen to the Spawn Talk. My name is Yekezi Zobel. I'm going to be sitting in this evening as your producer, and let's have a wonderful time together. If you're just joining us, we'd like to say you are welcome. If you're joining us from Liberia, welcome. If you're listening, welcome. You're watching the show, welcome. And of course, this is your most preferred nighttime show, the show that provides you everything that you need to know about Liberia. So the Spawn Talk is here again on this Friday evening to provide you perspectives, analysis, and information about what's happening in Mama Liberia. You know, the only country that we cannot be deported from is Liberia. And so the issues that matter to Liberia are very important, issues that we as Liberians must discuss, must disagree to agree, and we must together move this country forward. So that's exactly what Spawn Talk is here for this evening, to inform you, to provide you educative analysis and perspective about what's happening in Liberia. So welcome to it, and let's have a wonderful time together. Again, I'm Yekezi, and the CEO and his team of panelists will be joining us here tonight. And as you can, or as you have seen from the flyer, for those of you watching the television, the topics to be discussed tonight has to do with the statement from the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy released a statement today relative to the situation up Capitol Hill. Yeah, the U.S. Embassy has, for the second time, released a statement. So this is not the first time that the U.S. Embassy has released a statement relative to, the upheaval of Capitol Hill. All right. This is the second time the U.S. Embassy has expressed concern about what's unfolding up Capitol Hill. So I don't want to go into the statement because I'll be like preempting what the CEO and the team of panelists will come here to say, because it's going to be one of their major point of discussion this evening. So I don't want to preempt the content of the message, but they will be here, they will read it, and they will provide their own analysis about that. And also they'll be discussing the LTA and the NPA. So those are the three talking points this evening the CEO and his team of panelists will be delving into. So all you've got to do is to brace yourself, for a very, very firing, thunder-striking, let me say, a thunder-striking discussion tonight. So that's it. But besides the statement from the U.S. Embassy today relative to the saga up Capitol Hill, so on today, President Joseph Boakai officially opened the 15th Ministerial Conference of the Fisheries Committee for the West Central Gulf of Guinea. It's called the FCWC. So today, the president officially opened that conference at the EJS Ministerial Complex in Monrovia. And the Have Provide event brought together ministers, it brought together representatives, it brought together development partners, delegates, to address present challenges facing the region's fisheries sector. And in his keynote address, the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, emphasized Liberia's commitment to regional cooperation and sustainable management of marine resources. He described the conference as a vital platform, to strengthen collective efforts in addressing issues such as illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, climate change, marine pollution, and unsustainable fishing practice. The president further lauded the FCWC for its efforts to advance regional collaboration, acknowledging the critical role of development partners such as the World Bank, the European Union, the FAO, and the GRCA. He also gave credit to their financial and technical support for enhancing regional resilience, improving marine health, and supporting the lives of millions and millions and millions of people that are dependent on fishing. And the president called for urgent action to address challenges such as climate change, marine pollution, and unsustainable fishing practices, stressing that collective efforts and shared expertise are essential. So the conference concluded with the adoption of the Monrovia Declaration, which is a landmark commitment to bolster regional cooperation and promote sustainable fisheries management. And by signing the declaration, Liberia has reaffirmed its readiness to collaborate with neighboring states and partners in implementing the declaration's outcomes. And the president closed his address today with a call to action saying, we must leave this conference. So he said, and I quote, "Let us leave this conference with renewed determination, recognizing the responsibility we share to safeguard the future of our fisheries for generations to come." All right. And also today, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, held consultations with the National Association of Telecom Consumers, NATECO, and mobile network operators to be able to resolve this concern from the public about the pricing of telecommunication services. Especially of recent, there was a huge reduction in the data services offered by the GSM companies in Liberia. Like I can remember $3 used to give you like 12 gigabytes, and the duration is a month, and 15 gigabytes, $5 used to give you 15 gigabytes, and the duration is the same 1 month, but just within a too good of an eye. It's usually expected that, during the festive season, businesses, especially GSM companies, will provide more offers, virtually free services, because that's what they do. So the expectation is that, those services already offered, are going to be made more affordable. But to the surprise of everybody, instead of making the offer affordable, the company decided to reduce the offers, thereby making it expensive for consumers, for Liberians. So a lot of Liberians have been, expressing concern about that. Yesterday on the show, somebody called and, expressed that concern. And of course, the LTA has held consultation with the mobile network operators about that to, see how best that can be resolved. So we are looking forward to the outcome of that meeting that was held on today by the LTA and the network operators. And also, the National Port Authority has acknowledged that it is overstaffed. Yeah, the NPA has acknowledged, has confirmed that it is overstaffed. The managing director, Sekou Dukle, revealed that the total workforce at the NPA stands at over 1,900 employees. Over 1,900 employees at the NPA, according to Dukle, the managing director at that government institution. So Dukle has attributed the overstaffing to policies implemented by his predecessors, by the previous leadership there at the NPA. He further disclosed that the NPA spends 1.4 million monthly on salaries to sustain that workforce. 1.4 million monthly on salary to sustain a workforce there at the NPA, just on salary every month. So in a year time, you're talking about more than 12 million just on salaries. Additionally, the NPA announced that it will not be remitting allocations to the 2025 national budget, citing present outstanding projects. So the NPA is saying that they will not be giving money or remitting money to the national budget, the 2025 national budget, because they are faced with some, pressing outstanding projects that they are focused on undertaking. Okay, and there's another suspension. The majority bloc now has suspended. We know about seven lawmakers that have been suspended by the majority bloc. But it seems that the suspension by the majority bloc has not stopped there. They continue to do more suspensions. Okay, so yeah, so Edo Papi Flomo is one of the lawmakers suspended by the majority bloc. Marvin Cole, Abu Kamara, Safoko, which was just recently, Eugene Colley, Zina Noma, and Alex Noah. Those are the 7 lawmakers that the majority bloc has already suspended. But then there's another suspension that was ordered by the majority bloc, the chair of the Rules and Order Committee of the majority bloc, James Collet of Bond County. And so and in that letter, he ordered the suspension of the human resource director at the House of Representatives. Yeah. So the CEO and his team of panelists may delve into that. And one thing quickly that I would like to talk about is the taking of 4 persons at the back of the vehicle by the commercial drivers, but then the transportation fares still remain the same. I think it's at the detriment of is at the detriment of the citizens, of the passengers. Because this issue of 3 persons being taken at the back of the taxi, it came about, during the coronavirus, first day Ebola, and then coronavirus. Okay, and when the drivers began taking three passengers at the back of the vehicle, what they did is that they increased the transportation fares. All right. So now, if they've started taking 4 persons now at the back of the vehicle and causing inconvenience, it can be very inconvenient. 4 persons stocked up or clustered at the back of the vehicle. So it causes inconvenience for the passengers. So if you are inconveniencing the passenger, then at least try to reduce the transportation fares. Because when it was 4 before, the transportation fare was at certain a level. At least it was lesser than what it is Because it was 3, that's why you increase it. So if you take it 4 persons now at the back of the vehicle now, well, I think the transportation fares need to be reduced, and it's something that a lot of citizens have also expressed concern about, and I hope the Ministry of Transport can take cue from that. All right. So, folks, that's it. Those are some of the trending issues in the country. We will be opening the lines so that you can call. All right. So that you can call and have your say. What do you make of some of the trending issues in the country? What's on your minds? Just call this evening and speak your minds about Liberia, some of the trending issues in Liberia. 0777 771 0777 771 0555 Those are the numbers to put it through. But so call us and let's hear you. Let's talk to this first person. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Evening to the agency, and let me say good evening to all the government officials that listen to my voice. Compliment of the season to you.
Okay,
and
same
also
to you.
To the president, my season on every one of you people. Having said that, you can see I listen to one of your sister radio this evening. The former superintendent of Grand Basso, which is Janje Vagbe, they're talking about planning protests to go on Capitol Hill come Tuesday. And we were called by one of the journalists. They say whether he will see for the Joseph Minister to get a permit. They said they now need to see for permit before they assemble. And Article 17 tell all the to assemble, but you got to see for the permit so that the police will tell where to go and go. But the people that are planning something, and they see what they're planning, it will break on them. They say nobody is above the law. If you think you go under capacity to disable the peace, you're getting it wrong. The people will take you from the air. I just feel sorry for the people cheering what they will put you that day.
Thank you. Let's hear another person. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm okay.
My name is
Richardson, welcome.
And I call for Mam to start on the Anthony Weller Avenue.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, we want to say thank you to the Spoon Network, and we condemn the action from Honorable Jason Sibo for beating one of our reporter, Professor Chorope. We condemn that. We asking the IG to come and do total investigation to it, because not take generally bringing news to us for us to know as a laboratory to be informed in case of anything or any time for us to know our way about. Then you start beating them. They may ask you where you think they may do elaborate people where then you say to your powerhouse. They may not retire here to say that maybe that's your own powerhouse too. And start order your people to beat on you. We condemn that 1 year first. Now, basically, let me just conclude to the point here.
Yeah, quickly now.
Liberian people, let me be bold to tell you. Don't mind the fact that they were ministers, they were secretaries, they were eating all around. They never came to say that they have money and you come for it one day. So Tuesday, please don't go to the Capitol building there to go stop the Liberian people bought there that you say you're going to protest for it. Before action be taken against you cannot fail government. So that's that Akala go UK, United Kingdom to go bring his son and daughter to come protest. Then you get go back go Ghana to go bring his daughter and to come protest. Then the other people go to Jamaica and to come bring here to protest. Do not go there. Let me say it, like let the politics while you're doing a thing, let it finish with A, and then the Liberian people will be done. So please don't.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Good evening. Hello, let's hear you.
Yes, good evening, brother. And good evening to Spoon. Let me comment Spoon FM because my brother Spoon FM is one of the biggest stations with Mama Labua. Let me comment for all the cool work they've been doing for us. My brothers, I don't know, but if this government will allow for a radio station will be accepting the people against this government, then I don't know where we are heading to. This evening, I listened to Freedom FM. People calling on a show. When it comes to TV protest, according to them, they got AK-47 and grenade. So, my brothers, if they can go with grenade or with AK-47 on a protest ground, you're talking about the rule of law. Charles Kanke Taylor, he was not elected in this country as president when he walked into this nation. And the people come from the Osa world, they say, oh, he got to leave. He was not given the 6-year mandate to lead this country for 6 good years. But his 6 years was finished when he left this country for the sake of peace. Just a cabinet general, he was now on the Supreme Court bench. When facing speaker, he was a deputy speaker at that time under the William administration. He was removed by the instruction by the same speaker today. So what are holding for your day? What you don't want to leave like a dangerous position that to say, oh, it was made for him.
Thank you. Others are on the line. Let's talk to this other person. Good evening.
Good evening, brother, and good evening to the school family.
Okay, let's hear you. Go ahead.
My name is Joe King, and I call you from Swakoko.
All right.
Two things happened at one time during the saga. Our representative of electoral district number 5 in person of Eugene Kwari were whipped by police. We are saying to the police, the very next time we see our lawmaker be disgraced in such a manner, if they will be already the entire youth of the district with a summary capital bidding and talk of nobody got monopoly on violence. We are saying this to the entire person.
Thank you. Let's hear another person. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Yekazizogwe. My name is David Wamanba, and I call you from district number 3.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Well, let me extend my appreciation to you and the entire sport team, and to President Bakai for being the head of this country, doing his possible best to put things on the right path for this country. And I will urge all of the ministers, the deputy ministers, the assistants, the directors, once you were appointed by this president, even not appointed, even the civil servants, I ask every one of you to please work in the name of Liberia. Do the best you can do. Leave the corruption. Because as you see from one person, you are killing thousands of people. You are depriving other people from getting the rightful thing you're supposed to get to keep them alive.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Good evening. Let's hear you. Your name and where you join us from.
Well, I was going to tell you from District 2.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to be precise. You see, somehow when we rescue, nation, it's probably something we brought the government to power, we do our best. But what it truth belongs to places. Now we guys have the 50 numbers. It's simple, right? Do the duty that everybody crying for and everybody hear me for. So, by this feed as we are working on this person, I mean, they can read it, they can go back for Saracos. They go down, I mean, if we use this, they just do it. The whole CDC and everybody be certified and they will move on. But the holding those things, as the way we see it, my brother, we have to be very careful. Our army are very measured. We got security in this country. In the middle of the bring the whole party about Kenya. If you're not careful.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you for having me. Let me state this clear. We witnessed the past 6 years on the former speaker at the time he was the biggest speaker. We saw Gifted and Barry on the feet. We saw auditors were killed. Why did the Liberian people did not rise up to say they're going to protest? Is fanatic Kofa important than those more than 6 auditors that died in 1 month? But we can challenge any protester. You get your right to protest, but protest with conscience. When you pass the level, you're brought up with the toughest protester who will defend and protect the peace of this country. No, not because I can't go one job.
Okay, let's talk to another person. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from? So we don't support any form of violence, on our platform. Yeah, we don't support violence on our platform. Everybody has the right to protest. The same right that existed yesterday on the CDC government to protest, that same right still exists today on the Joseph Boakar's administration to protest. So I don't see the need where somebody will want to protest and then you say you want to go and resist or defend the country from a protester, please. So we wouldn't solicit or tolerate any statement that is supportive of violence here. All right. Let's go back to the lines. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from? Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you join us from?
Yagati, good to you. My name is Mohammed M. Kanajino, resident of Case 16, Balasa Mandwala.
Okay.
Let me say good evening to my President Joseph Boacar, Senator Bodokane from Babulu County, and our Cabinet Minister, the Mobile or Deputy Minister, Daniel Sano, who is on the chief. My concern to me to be June to the extension of the CD, National Union of Persons with Disability. Our Honorable Samuel Dean, they've gone July 26. People face it more difficult on the issue of the distribution process concerning about the past July 26 and food that President Biden to the disabled and the people and facilities including from the NCD office. But for this round, one for you to please conduct the sharing of that food into good access. The okay. Is if you another reach for the distribution of the food, what we start. We as a vision impaired people, please step up first. Because last year, people.
Thank you very much. I think your point was made. So CEO, welcome to the show.
Yekeze, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Thank you, Yekeze. You can go ahead though. I'm just here watching you.
Okay. Let's take more calls. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yeah.
Please lower the volume of the radio, please. Lower the volume of the radio.
I'm Sumo. I'm calling from the red light.
Okay.
Back up in.
Go ahead.
Yes. I take this time to extend my great thanks to our beloved President, President Joseph Boacar, and also giving a message to the House of Legislators. I think what is happening there, it is something that is happening before. I think if I can retrospect, I watched.
You got to be brief. Others are on the line, please.
Yeah. Have you get me?
I'm getting you.
Let's come back to you.
Yes.
Say.
Let's come back to the man. Say what's it now?
Denied because of corruption. Brian, okay.
All right. Let's talk to this other person. Good evening.
Good evening. Into the many listeners and viewers following the broadcast this evening.
Let's hear you.
I'm Aloysius P. Flomo Jr. and I call this evening from Maggie County, precisely District 2. Let me say thank you for some of those discussions to be discussed on this platform tonight. But my attention has been drawn to the RORE, that is the Wabos International Airport. In the past, we spoke on things, and when they are happening now, we should be able to speak about it, not because we voted or supported the government. the current managing director at the airport, Mr. Mesco, is not doing well for that institution. And if here an expedition action is not taken by the president, the ROI is going to be one of the worst performing institutions under his government.
What is he doing wrong?
So you cannot have the ROI. Yesterday we said outsourcing was wrong or it was bad. Because if you outsource, most of the department and the entity there, it means that you will be making your workers vulnerable. The vulnerability of the workers will be at a peak. Because those that will be taking over, in fact, when they come, they will want to even cut down the manpower. Then it means that your employee now, some of them, their job will be at stake. So these are some of the things the managing director doing over there, and there are a lot of them coming out. So I think the president needs to direct his attention to the RRA.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good evening. Please lower the volume of the radio or walk away from it. Let's hear you. Good evening. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Mr. Bola, still from New Material Estate this evening.
Go ahead, sir.
I really want to speak to CEO.
Yeah, the CEO is listening.
You are doing well for us. But I can tell you, the man you call Ken Hassan, and the other man you call Uncle Sam.
Who?
Uncle Sam.
Okay.
And Ken Hassan. And to people, even though we move Ken Hassan, you can only visit us Sunday. But then now your heart, he's not doing well. He's starting his own repetition here. You are not in this country. Things are going on here, and you say you are activism. Demand your people to start giving you different story, and you come on show. You cannot get you better way. You have to be careful. I'm begging.
Okay.
And you observe that man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Hello? Yeah, Zanimi, where you joining us from?
My name is Jonathan Byron. I come from Kingsville.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what is on my mind has to do with the panelists on the spoon talk. The way they treat their guests. I'm sure the guests are interviewees and they, the panelists, are the interviewers. So they don't have to be very much antagonists against the guest. It's better to ask the question, but when you start to describe the guest in a demeaning manner, that's been very unprofessional.
No, okay.
For example, like the issue before the Supreme Court about the House of Representatives, you start to call them renegade, anti-rule of law, this kind of thing, rebels and all of those things. I think those are very unprofessional. We are listening to many interviewers before. We listened to the great Robin White before the BBC, Josephine Usley.
Thank you.
To other people.
Thank you very much. CEO, is it okay?
Okay,
hello?
It's up to you.
Hello? Yes, your name and where you joining us from? Are you there? Okay, we lost that person. Let's talk to this other person. Hello? Hello? Okay, good evening. Your name and where you joining us from?
Hello?
Let's hear you.
Are you coming on?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, guys, my attention, I called from Lower Maggie County.
Okay.
My name is Papa Fa.
Papa,
yeah, legacy. My attention has been drawn to the hot issue. The hot issue about the speaker business is not a problem for this country. This speaker is just begging, let him accuse himself and just find place to sit down, let the problem just sit down here, let the country do the rest. Because every day, like example, nothing else now will get to think on in the country, getting president or we are coming down, seeing president or position, everyone. Rest you go buy the market, now it's so let me try to ask God, you got to keep yourself and get down. Let it one thing, they put one do the majority brothers will look at no labor be better info.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling, yeah? All right. Okay. Let's see if we can take this call. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from?
Hi, my name is Eddie. I join you from Vancouver, Washington.
Okay, see you. Let's take this last person. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, what is on my mind is to say a big thank you to the U.S. Embassy for not taking a side in the whole situation, but placing more emphasis on the issue of violence.
Okay.
You see a group calling themselves rule of law people are the ones who have been constantly breaking things and being involved in violence all of the time. So I want to tell them thank you for their message to the Liberian people. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Yekezi Zogwe. Pabwa. The man Yekezi. Want to say thanks a lot, Yekezi. Thanks a lot for holding it down. We're going to jump into the program. It's always good to see Dr. Richardson. Apparently no smiling today. Uncle Sam got headache. He was hanging out yesterday. And we saw him with Tipote, the Honorable Tipote. Uncle Sam, it's good to see you. How to what not Tipote doing, the great man?
Well, he's such a blessed man. He's 83 years old. He's did a tremendous a lot of things for himself. He was a world class.
Can you send me that photo? I got to put that photo up. I really do. I like that photo.
Yeah, he did a whole lot. He did a whole lot for his life, and he's just a sweet, nice man. And he was gracious to take a picture with me. I told him I was going to put it on Facebook, and here I am. Not going to send it to you, Stanley, so you can put it on Facebook and see this absolute great gentleman. I'm going to send it to you right now. There it is. It's going to you right now. You got it. It's in your box.
Yeah, but that was a great picture. I saw you guys, and it made me think about, when someone 4-year-old, 3 years old, and I guess he was here on the earth at the time when you guys were much younger, and talking about the progressive.
Yeah.
So my mind went way back, seeing this great picture, and this picture, man, will go down in history. What a change!
Yeah.
What a change!
Oh yeah. Oh, what a change! Oh yeah, and 1977 when I was in graduate school in Providence, he came and he spent a whole weekend with me, and this guy wouldn't let me sleep. He talked me through the whole night. We were having some kind of a program for the student association there in Rhode Island, and we wanted him to speak to it. In fact, Charles Taylor came to that same meeting. He drove from Boston. Yeah, so Tipote and I go a long way. I have a great deal of respect for him. He's the premier economist in the country. He's a great man. He sings, my God, he sings well. He's a great singer. Every time he goes to a funeral or wedding, he has to sing. He has a great baritone voice. He's a good man. Excellent man.
Well, how long since you met him, Uncle Sam? This is your first meeting in a long while, right?
No, not really. He spends a lot of time at the Cape Hotel. He does a lot of work over there, because it has nice internet. It's very comfortable. So he spends most of his days there. We have a mutual friend of ours, a guy called Gassam Rasamni. I grew up with Gassam. Gassam was my schoolmate. And and Gassam father, Tipote's father, my father, they were all close friends. So Gassam Rasamni is probably my closest friend alive. He's a Lebanese guy. He's just about my age. And Tipote spends a lot of time there. I go there a lot. I eat there. But I didn't go in there in about since I came back from this particular trip. So today, I was just in a good mood, and I went out there, and there he was, and I met with him. He was very happy to see me, and then he obliged me to take a picture. It's very, very good. Look at him, man. Dr. Tipote. We can't hear you, Stanton.
You are muted.
I say yes, and talking about TN, Tubana, and that's a great man. That's a great man. I was happy when I saw the picture. It always good that that I would go back in history and dream some dreams and have more visions as we talk about the past.
But there was Stanton. There were two other famous people I saw today. I'm going to send it to you guys.
Okay.
Remember Grace Minor? Grace Minor was the first female Senate Pro Tem on a Charles Taylor.
Grace Minor is the mother-in-law to Money Captain, right?
Exactly. I saw her.
I used to never business. I thought about Money Captain leaving.
Yeah. So I will send a picture to you. And then also I took a picture with one of the most beautiful women ever on the planet, Ophia Hoff, today. They were all at Cable. Yes. I will send the pictures to you guys. Yeah. So these are my really, really, really true. These are my big sisters and big brothers, man. They know I'm full of it. They know I have a big mouth, but they love me because they know I have a good heart. Yes.
Yeah, man. I enjoy the picture, though. Listen, this going down in history, Uncle Sam. You guys did your thing, and we try to, just follow in some of you guys' good footstep to make Liberia better, regardless what Stephen Johnson or Mo Adi going to say on the show. Those
guys are my picking name, and those are my friends. They can just be joking me, man. They don't mean any harm.
Yeah. Dr. Richardson, how are you? Governor there, it's always good to see you. What's up, Dr. Richardson?
It's good. Nothing to state right now. Just preparing for Christmas. The holidays are around, so you got to decorate the house, put the trees up, and get the Christmas stockings together. That's what the kids are used to. So that's what I've been doing today.
Yeah, they will be eating all the candies and things from the tree, and that's the way it is. But again, happy Christmas to all of you that are celebrating Christmas, and happy everything to you as you celebrate a great holiday. May God bless us all. Let me bring in my boss, brother. Clinton is in the hotel. I don't know why.
This guy. Actually, look, can't get it. Never. Stay looking for you.
Okay.
You know what I do? All my talking point I write it down. I write all my talking point down. But you know what? Why you been in the hotel for the past 2 weeks? The balance for you out.
Stand up. I thought we had a conversation about this thing, and you promised that.
No. I was told that you're in a hotel. I want to know why that you display in a hotel, or you intentionally, went to the hotel. I want the whole world to know. You don't have everybody. I want to know why you display in a hotel, Clinton. Can you carry your camera around? Let's see.
Oh, you want to see everything? Oh.
Remember you in Motel 6?
Look at that. You
the man said H. He said M. He said H.
No, I'm in Hampton. Stanton, no, I'm in the hotel.
Yeah, the man is in Hampton. You thought I was kidding, right, Dr. Richardson? I heard that his wife pulled him out, so I don't know if that's the true story.
Oh.
Trouble.
People say in RLJ hotel.
The majority black bought me over. The majority black bought me.
Oh, Lord.
But then let's talk about some of the people that Uncle Sam met today. Grace Beatrice Minor, a wonderful lady. I had the pleasure of interviewing Grace Minor as a child broadcaster. And then I actually had the pleasure of also interviewing Morning Captain. It will interest you to know. I decided to study international relations because of Morning Captain. I was very impressed when I met Morning Captain as Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I made the decision. Then I was going to. I always wanted. I wanted to be Minister of Foreign Affairs for like a year after I met Morning Captain. Yeah, so it's interesting how people can impact you. Wonderful people, great people.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love Liberia, man, because it takes me back into my youth. Even though I spent most of my life in the States, and I went there at 15, but I don't have that connection to America that I have with with Liberia. I mean, one of the things I went to military, all that kind of stuff, and high school and college and grad school.
How long were you in the military for, Uncle Sam? Yeah, in the state. How long?
18 months. I got a medical discharge at
nah, they were talking about under 4 days. Uncle Sam better 18 months.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know what? Yeah, Uncle Sam, everybody talk about 4 days, but you better 18 months.
Yeah,
and you got Uncle Sam very smart, and he got up on medical discharge. So I mean, left time military money coming.
No, I had a liver infection. And it was a friend. It was like hepatitis. At that time, there was not a lot of, like the whole thing about hepatitis and B and all that kind of stuff. That when I showed, they just thought I was going to infect the whole unit. So they just said, like, I mean, just go and enjoy your life. That time, 1973, I mean, medicine was, compared to today, it was very ancient, So they just say, look, you're sick. Don't infect these guys. Just they
gave you. So you still get what you usually receive from the military, right?
They gave me a payout, and I get a little bit of disability, not a whole lot, but enough to carry me through.
Wow, come on there. The puppet. You see, nobody can own the puppet. The puppet, even in the United States military.
Yeah, but I get Social Security too. I get Social Security also. Because I went more than 20 years in the States, and when I worked, I had high income, so they took a lot. What they call it, FICA. So I took a lot. So at 65, I was eligible to get something nice. So it's okay. I mean, I'm not rich off it. I cannot go to Paris on it, but I mean, I can buy my food.
You can go to Paris.
No, if you can go to Ghana, South Africa, Atlanta, Georgia, New York, then you say you can go just 6 hours before you can go to Paris.
But my other income from my real estate investment, I'm trying to sell my house because I'm getting broke. I got small cash flow problems, so I'm trying to sell a house. So that's what you do, standard. You buy asset, and when you get older, you live longer. You liquidate to live. That's what you do.
Yeah. Okay, sir, man. But listen, I'm kind of concerned. I'm trying to upload some important conversation that we will be having today. The U.S. Embassy statement. I'm seeing people say the National Port Authority. We are talking about LTA, what Abdullah Kamara intends to do, and he's doing at the LTA. It's a big nonsense. Everybody crying about the data. They almost imagine, right? Then they came out with something that scam and said, "Oh, we gave you a Christmas bonus package." I mean, the mindset of people that we thought they were ready to come to the rescue, but we get to it though. We get to it, and the House of Representatives now putting out a statement and they're saying that. Well, I'm surprised, Uncle Sam. Have you spoken to Richardson, to any of the senators? They're all running away from Yombly and DeLong. As to who are those senators that approve that they should be working with the House of Representatives? I mean, who are those senators that say, yeah, put my hand up, I don't work with them?
I like to
as per the opinion from the Ministry of Justice. It was DeLong and Yombly. So who are those other senators? Listen, I've gone all over asking people, not Snow, not McGill, not Bill Trawick, not Apoche, not Augustine Che. I can name them all. Besson got Fender said, no, not me. Americana said, not me. Who is it then? Who are those senators say we agree that will work with the House of Representatives? I mean, DeLong and Yombly took something what these guys are doing is bad for. And listen, you can see, give me DeLong picture, give me Yombly picture. Let's put it up. People don't know them. I really want people to know them. This is, but anyway, I don't know whether we can start the show now or we should wait for what, 9:30? Let's start the show now, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Let's start the show.
Yeah, today is my mother-in-law's birthday, a beautiful woman. Happy birthday to mommy, to Kuluba Moba. I'm going to pull her picture up, man. A decent lady, a wonderful mother-in-law. The woman, I just love her double G because she's the only person double G I can eat. Then, I eat my wife potato screen. Then when I go to my mind, I let my golf food. Then my mind get vexed. But here's the story. Today is my mother-in-law's birthday. And I wish my mother-in-law a happy birthday. She's a mother. And and I'm gonna put a picture up. She's a good mother. It's like I'm a son to her, so I just can't call her mother-in-law. But happy birthday on this great day. Dr. Richardson, let's start the show. Which one of the senators agree with Dana Yombly that we agree with the Minister of Justice opinion to do business with the House of Representatives? Let's go down the line. Besson got offended today. Besson got said, not me. Which one? And they went beyond closed door, beyond Jade. They went beyond Jade. They closed the door. And Dana Yombly, Prince Moi, Emmanuel Nukwe. But it wasn't a decision on plenary. Man, whoo! It's like, no, I'm all right, babe. I'm in my acting mood right now. My wife look at me, I gotta tell her I'm all right. But Dr. Richardson, the Labrador people want to know, which one of those senators out there put a hand up and say, yes, I'll do business? Adam Snow was saying the country, America was saying not him. Nathan Maggie said not him. Beto was saying not him. Augustine Chase said no, not me. Basson Gaffney said no. Albert Chase said no. We can go down the line. Then who the heck? Which one of them? Talk to me. And the Liberian people need to know. Sir Joseph says it's not him. The Liberian people need to know which one of the senators. You got to tell your country. You got to tell your country which one of you put your hand up and say, when Jesus Christ says somebody will deceive me. All the disciples say, it says I, it is I, it is I. It's like my Bible days. It is I. Hallelujah, it is I. If that me, oh Lord, please tell me now. It is I. Hallelujah. It is. So all the senators are concerned. It is I who could not.
Can I even know where they get this from?
I'm praising my God, and God will accept my praises. No, God will accept my praises, and no demonic interference will come into that. I rebuke you, back to sender.
Maybe you call it demonic interference.
I'll take it.
Dr. Richardson, on a serious matter, let's talk to you.
Yes.
I don't know who you have spoken to, but all on Facebook, you guys are running away with the decision of Delon Yombly.
Yeah, I read that they voted. I think that was the word that I originally read, that they voted to support the decision of the Justice Minister Twe to remove to acknowledge their current speaker. I was surprised at that. I thought that they were going to at least kind of reflect and brainstorm and sort of play a more reserved leadership role. But it seems like there was a rush to acknowledge, the presentation that Twe made to them. And so I felt like they could have, as senators, if they felt like, there was some discrepancy in the ruling, I don't know what stopped them from also picking up the phone, to call the ministry, the Supreme Court, So I don't know. I want to know more about what they're saying, but I did see that Senator McGill and Senator Finley did put out that they did not agree with the Senate supporting the anti-rule of law individuals in the House of Representatives. So, I thought they would have played a more reserved role. That's what I have to say about that sentence.
I really want to say this, Uncle Sam, Dr. Richardson, thank you. Why are people to make this kind of landmark decision or giant decision? Why they should go in the closet and hide themselves? I mean, let me set something straight now. It was this DeLong, right? And Yombly that said that we're going to negotiate on behalf of Fonati Kofa with the president. But at the back end, they said strip him of everything. And immediately thereafter, knowing that Oswald Twe, the Justice Minister, He was coming with his own decision on this issue, his own opinion. They went in the closet and took a vote that majority of the lawmakers say no. Bring it on the floor. But they went in the closet quietly. We said, what's going on here?
Okay, look, Stanton, I just want for you to look at the beginning of this whole thing. Fonati Kofa was invited to Rome by President Boyka, right? And they could not wait for him to come back to face his accusers. They were going to remove him before he got back. Just remember that, right? Everything that they're doing in terms of how when the Supreme Court ruled the first time that we're not going to touch the matter, they hurriedly went and got this resolution in place. So there is something driving this haste. I don't know what's driving this haste. I don't know what's motivating it, but one of these days we will learn it. But right now, I'm baffled as to why they're moving so fast and they're moving against all the rules just to get rid of this man. And if they want to get rid of him, they can get rid of him very easily by getting the numbers. But for some reason, there is some sort of thing going on that I don't understand. But it's just too fast.
Uncle Sam, let others say something. Why go beyond closure? Why go in the closet? Now, Edward Snow was in there. Natalie Magia said you'll wait for us. Augustine Chase said you'll wait. Councilor Jara said I'm not going to be part of it. Burton Gaffney said I'm not part of it. Albert Chair said no, I'm not part of it. Who are those that they say the senator, took a decision? Who are those? The only people we know that brought this thing out was Youngly and her son Delon. Was Youngly and Delon. I mean, for the sake of God, I mean, what's going on here? Even if they needed to take those decisions, bring it on the floor in front of the camera. Why couldn't they, Uncle Sam, before we get to Clinton? Why they couldn't bring it in front of the camera?
So then it is clear that they don't have the numbers in the House, and they have a lot of senators that are reluctant to go along with this. And because the Senate always is a higher body with people with I wouldn't say more integrity, but more prominent people in society and people who got more gravitas, right? So these senators, they would like to see a compromise. You said the United States government called for a compromise. The United States government is actually kick somebody out. They said both parties must come to a compromise. That is the compromise now that the Senate should have used the power to bring the sides together to negotiate before moving forward. But somebody is driving this thing. It's a train that has an invisible driver. They're pushing everything so fast. I don't know what is the objective, but I just hope the train doesn't crash.
Which train? Are we still talking about train?
Yeah, no, I'm seeing the train.
Are we still talking about train yet?
No, not the rescue train, but I'm saying.
Okay, because the rescue train is packing to rehab. Yeah. So we do not have no rescue train again. Yeah.
But the ship of state, right? Because I just said something to you. You said was in our chat room. People are trying to organize demonstrations against the data, against the rule of the speaker, and also something about the NAMD.
No, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. You're right. I saw it. Let me bring in Clinton. Clinton, are we still talking about train? I mean, in the midst of Delon and Youngly are supporting this coup d'etat, are we still talking about plane? Yeah, a train? Do we still have train?
No, there's nothing like a rescue train anymore. Somebody said it's not an excuse mission. So they are making an excuse for everything. Data excuse. It's been worked on. We're working on it. Everything is so there's no such thing as a rescue train. Not in the last 11 months. Of course, there's been absolutely no attempt to rescue anything. So we can't really talk about any kind of rescue train. But like I said yesterday, Stanton, the Senate is one part of the legislature. And as legislators, they are supposed to be respecting the rule of law. we have a decision from the highest court in the land that says what it said. So I would think if the Senate is making a decision, they will release a statement saying, based on the ruling of the Supreme Court, the Senate has taken a position that they are going to do X, Y, and Z. But for the senators to go and take votes, and not only that, but to do that in secrecy is problematic. Now you have all these other senators that are saying, no, we weren't part of this entire thing. We don't know. So then the question is, who betrayed the Liberian people? Because this is a complete betrayal. We have a serious crisis in the house going on. We have a liquor battle still ongoing, and where the Liberian people are looking to the Senate for guidance, they went ahead and betrayed the Liberian people with this secrecy vote. This should be public record. I think the president of the Liberian Senate, Yandikanga Lawrence, need to make available those records publicly for the Liberian people. We need to know who are those senators who, in the face of a Supreme Court decision, decided that they are going to vote and decide for the Liberian people, who will be speaker.
Again, don't welcome Glennie, though. I don't know, why is this not open? Why is this not, there you have it, bring all the press guys, put us on camera, let's discuss this issue, let's debate it, let's put our hand up, who are in favor of, who are against, let's make this thing happen. But to my surprise, senators are running away from this. Yakazi, can you give me the statement of Augustine Che? Can you give me the statement of Basonga family? Can you give me the statement of Natano Faro Miguel? And put the statement up. Let's see who are for and who are against. Let me bring my sister, Sister Glennie, talk to me.
So I think, these are genuine questions, because I think at one point in time, people were leaning towards the senators because we heard something about they weren't going to accept the budget. They probably were not going to deal with the majority. And then all of a sudden, this surprise happened. I would think that is and in all fairness, it's not just Ule Yomli and Dillon. As in the Senate, there are other people there. So who are the other people? If indeed Yomli and Dillon voted for this or wanted this, we need to know who are all the other people, because like you said, such a thing like they should have done it publicly. And I think we spoke about this the other day. I was very surprised to hear that the senators had agreed with the majority bloc to say, yes, we want to go with them. But there are other senators. If you're moving chair, Finlay, Snow, and McGill is just 4. Who are the other senators who agree with this, and why have they not spoken out publicly on this? I think that's something that that's something that they owe the Liberian people at least, so that they understand, which way they're leaning. So these are genuine questions that I would think that the pro team would want to address and respond to, because these people need to know if this is the way they're going. They've already decided that this was their decision. That's something that should be public. It should have been public.
I agree with you, Glennie, and that's why we put in a picture of Yakazi. Yakazi, can you put a senator picture up? Folks, don't forget, you need to share the show. You need to invite your friends, your brothers and sisters. Today is a beautiful Friday in the country. We got a lot of information for you. And I also want to say, don't forget the Cash App starting next week. We'll be making this great distribution. People are contributing. Glennie, don't forget the Cash App is right there. I know you didn't contribute last year. Please contribute this year. Uncle Sam, there you go, the Cash App. Governor, I know you're in a hotel, but Lord will make a way for you and you will contribute.
In hotel?
Yeah, Governor is in the hotel. No, Governor is in the Hampton Hotel.
Or where? Where are you?
You want to go there? You want to go?
I want to go there. I want to go there.
You want to go there? You want to go there, man? When you there, the man OPS.
But Ethnic Lady, where you running with? Well, which hotel? Where is it? You're not just center.
Center, they are confused people.
No, the man in the hotel. The man in the hotel. The man in the hotel.
Where? What are you doing there?
But Governor, am I lying? Governor, we got to talk. I'll show me, man. Let's put this in the rest. Governor, are you in the hotel? Look at the curtain. That hotel curtain. I know hotel curtain when I see one.
How you know hotel curtain? Let me call Lao so Lao can understand the other conversation. How you know hotel curtain? You get hotel?
Now myself, I've traveled so many times that I know hotel getting.
Good answer. You know you used to make that.
Yeah, man. We not traveled so many times, so I know hotel getting. But let's go ahead. Let's get back to the show. It's very important for us to have this discussion today. The question for you out there, and I want to hear from you, our followers, though. Why these senators, then, those that say, yes, we're going to support Richard Kuhn and accept the decision from the Minister Oswald Toy, why they did it behind closed door? Why they hide themselves? What's the problem? I mean, who was running behind them? Why did it? Why? I mean, just talk to us. Why do you think they hide themselves? The reason why, I'm sorry, Glennie, the reason why I'm going to DeLong and Youngbley, because it was DeLong and Youngbley, right, that want to negotiate for Fanatic Kofa. Listen, I can get out of here, but these are my demands. On Saturday, they don't push that. I'm going to take a position. I will speak. Let's chat on Sunday. People start calling me, and I say, my man, they don't, when I say anything, that flash. You know, the man was a light. He turned to dim, Janto Lanto, and now he turned to darkness. So that flash. And at the end of the day, to tell you the truth, he didn't say anything. Just to find out, they went for the meeting and they stripped Fanatico file of everything. My man, your cell phone gave you a hard time. And they stripped Fanatico file of everything. So, who are those saying, yes, we are now going to concord with the House of Representatives to do business with them as per the release from the Minister of Justice? Dr. Richardson, is it a bad question? So what I did, everyone Snow said I was out of the country. Councilor Jara said he didn't sign. Nathaniel Fallow Maggie said he didn't sign. Basunga Fene came and said he didn't sign. Albert Che said he didn't sign. Augustine Che said no, that me. Sir Joseph saying not me. Bertrand was saying not me. Now, I just didn't want to add though. Let's go down the line. The only person I accepted today say I signed was Emmanuel Nukwe. Emmanuel Nukwe said, yes, I signed on the paper. So, I'm calling names because those are people that I spoke to. Emmanuel Nukwe said, yeah, I'm not calling. Nah, I'm not calling say I didn't sign.
So, Seda, we're challenging these senators. I think if they want, maybe they should call the show. Let them tell the Liberian people why they voted, even with the Supreme Court ruling and with the build-up information, why they decided that they are going to vote and why they decided to do it in secret in the first place. Why? This is so important. This is a national crisis that we're having. You would think that if the Senate is going to make a decision, there was going to be an open section. Why did they, do this thing in secret? There's something sinister going on here, and the Liberian people, deserve to know what went on, what went into that decision making. Did they make that decision based on the Supreme Court ruling? If so, what's the interpretation of that ruling? If they did so based on any color of political influence, we need to know. We need to understand. But this is unacceptable. People need to know. Liberia in 2024 is not Liberia in the 60s or the 70s and 80s. It's the age of internet. It's the age of accountability.
Okay, so I get information for you. Anyway, you be talking. Let me put some names up because we got to force these people. They got to say something. We got 9 people that say they didn't sign, right? But I got a list of 8 people on that paper that was in that group. They call it disciplinary. Emmanuel Nukwe, Prince Boyi, Alex Tano, Yan Twine, Momo Cyrus, Abraham Darius DeLong, Yomli Kanga Lawrence, and Zoe Pena. They are 8. 8 said we did it. No, I didn't call Abraham Lincoln. I've been to Lexus. So the issue with me is that then what happened? No, I'm not talking about Abraham Lincoln. Leave me alone.
Alexa will deal with you today.
Yeah, man. I said Abraham Darius DeLong. She said Abraham Lincoln. So at the end of the day, yeah, man. That's what Richard saying. Something is happening though. You got 9 people saying, well, no, so what's the group that should have agreed to this thing they call plenary? Why they went in the corner to approve this hurriedly, Dr. Richardson?
Yeah, you're asking a wonderful question. Given the constitutional crisis that we have in our country and given the hostage of development in our country, you would think that the pro tem or someone she would designate would speak about this openly. This is something that needs to be addressed. I mean, our president Walker is not addressing it. So I think that she will be, if they agree now, if they voted to support the speakership, then let them come and say it. But I think it's worth stating that this problem isn't over yet, and it's worth also asking why were they in such a hurry. Everybody's saying, oh, we want the budget to work, we want to continue with Liberian people's work, but it's just the way that you do it. Does that mean that having the budget passed and then moving it on to the Senate, does that mean that you are working for the Liberian people? So but you asked a wonderful, wonderful question. Let's see the list. Let them come and talk to us. I want to know. I was surprised, as I said earlier, when this whole thing happened. So yeah, that's what I have to add.
Yeah, look,
so
Black man,
send
on Agda Richardson, right?
Go
And
ahead.
I don't believe for a second when somebody said we have to rush this thing because we have to do the Liberian people's business. The Liberian people business, the Liberian people are better served if you're respecting the Constitutional Republic of Liberia. Liberian people are better served if you're respecting the rule of law. Liberian people are better served if you're having their senators in open sections making decisions, explaining to Liberian people why they're making the decision. You can't go in secret and make this thing happen. And I would think, and look, I will begin to call the senator's office beginning Monday and urge other Liberians to call Senator Protein Yombly Kanga. She has to answer to the Liberian people what exactly went on within our Senate.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Uncle Sam, let's wrap on this thing though, because James Bonning. So now you got 9 names that we know that said yes, and you got 9 that said no. That 18. So you say got 12 group of people out there that we got to know who signed this thing. There's a reason why some of them are hiding, and some of them are distancing themselves right now, as per the U.S. statement that was put out though. Anybody him finding the cookies jar? These guys are building. But some guy friend that came out and say I'm out. He said, "Yo, go test center." I didn't sign. That's what got fed it. Can we get the Besson guy statement and the Abachi and Augustine Chase statement and Nathaniel Maggie statement, please? Uncle Sam, go ahead, sir.
So look, this whole thing here is like is getting to be something that is going to linger and linger and linger. And one of the best things the United States government said today is compromise. And the only people that can compromise this thing and make it work, okay, will be President Joseph Boyka leading that whole transaction, or whatever we call it, transaction or negotiation or what have you. I see senators are very reluctant to, get in this frying pan. But it is just something that, look, between now and the state of the what do you call it, the annual message, the SONA, I'm hearing all kinds of things. I think you and I spoke offline about it. I'm hearing all kinds of things. And many people, international people, are concerned about the chatter that they're hearing. Yeah.
Glenn, let's end with you on this. We're trying to put the names of those names of yes and those names of no, for us to come into some kind of understanding as to what's going on in our country. But for senators to be going beyond closed door, hiding themselves for a major decision like this in a hasty way, Glenn, it is concerning. Just to see that, and the reason why people pointed out DeLong and Youngly, because they were running this affair, and these are Liberty Party guys, and you understand the relationship with Funati Kofa, the bad blood between them. You understand the way in which that small fish was sold. I'm not talking about you and Buchanan now, Glenn. You don't hold me to that because I know you saw your small fish long time. But let's talk about this issue as to why these guys then decided to do this. I care less about Funati Kofa. But don't you think it was going to be even wise to do this on camera, let people see who all say yes and who all say no?
Well, I mean, equally so if and like I said earlier, I think it's something, and 2 days ago, I think I said that if the senators voted, that should have been something for the public to have been able to consume, like see them voting and see what their position was. We were of the the backdrop that the senators were not going to side with the majority black, because we heard that they were not going to accept the budget because what was being done there was illegal. A lot of them gave interpretations of the different things that was going on with Funati. To hear quickly that they voted, and now hear subsequently that there are some senators who are saying that they did not vote, then those senators who did not vote need to come out. And they need to put themselves together and go against what the vote was, because this is the thing. If they're in plenary, if they're 8 or 10 or whoever, how many of those 10 people voted? Did they have the majority that voted to say we were going to work with Kuhn? I think this is something on the pro team should be able to address in all fairness. If the Liberian people are asking questions, she should answer them. She should address it, because this is not something that just concerns one group of people. It concerns Liberians, and it's a question that these are questions that should be answered. So I don't understand. I mean, Bosaga feeling and didn't vote, and they were not a part of it. Why have they not come together to speak out and say we were not a part? Where's the list? The House of Representatives had their own list. Where's the list of senators who signed and agreed to this if they voted? How did they vote? Did they do yay, no, or did they vote by name? These are all questions that are relevant questions that should be answered regardless of what side of the aisle that you're on, because this is about Liberia's future, and it's a precedence is being set, and these things have to be clarified. So they need to answer these questions.
And I agree with you. So let's just move quick as to the different aspect, because we got a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about the LTA, the blunder, the stealing, the worst in the history of that place. I mean, LTA, we're going to talk about LTA. We're going to talk about the National Port Authority, people running with different information. We got some information to talk about concerning the National Port Authority. And we're going to talk about the U.S. position here. And everything that's flying on Facebook and social media about massive protests on Tuesday. I want to take my position on that protest issue. I want to welcome every one of you. Share the show. The best we can do is to come every day and talk to you. Well, some of you may not like it. Some of you will say, thank you very much. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, and we just got to be truthful. It's not about President Bwaka or former President George Manawia or Mr. Cummings or Ben Ayure or Tewan Gonglo. It's about Liberia. The day we cease to start speaking truth to power, our country is done. So we have to do this all the time, without fear, without favor. Somebody says, oh, you go back home. By God's grace, if I go home, I will be saved. Like I'm saved here. I'm not afraid. I will be like Uncle Sam. I don't think anyone looking for me. So therefore, we'll be happy to contribute. You may not like some of the things I'm going to say or some of the things the panel is going to say, but you say your own and we say our own, everything will make Liberia better. So the decision taken by the senators, especially the pro tem, Yombly is the pro tem. What we are hearing is negotiation. Yombly, if you do not support this, we'll come after you. So Yombly was in between a rock and a hard place, Clinton. She said she was afraid. She wanted to protect her position right now. You know, you think Yombly needs some of the 16 members of the Senate stepping aside and say, we don't want you? And that's a problem Yombly faced with. Yombly problem is a long-term goal problem. Well, Yombly
how does they protect her though, Stanton? How does they protect her? Because the precedent they're trying to set is a dangerous one, because the decision she's embracing is setting her up for, you know, for losing her leadership in the future. I mean, it's going to look good now with whatever compromise she's making, but it's only a matter of months before 16 of those people step aside and said, we are in the next room, and Madam Yombly, we can't sit on your guy where you need to go. So, you know, it may look good, and that's the problem. Too many times, our leaders make decisions, they just make it for today. They don't think we are way ahead. So she's making the decision for today, because maybe people said, you have to do this to maintain your leadership. But what happens 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, 5 months down the line? You have a president. Look, and that's the danger of embracing this thing. We can't look. The framers of the Constitution never, ever in their wildest imagination decided we are going to have a legislature or a House of Senate where anytime a group of people decide they don't want their leader, they would just jump in and measure and say, now we are primary, we are the majority, and the House Speaker will come to us. And the argument even now, well, why did Fonati not go? Why he didn't go there to preside? The framers of the Constitution did not intend that every time the majority decide to jump in one room of the Capitol or another, the Speaker will be chasing it all over the place. You know, it's not a sensible reasoning at all. So Yumbi, I hope you know. Yeah, go ahead, Dr.
You made a great point, which is this is not the era of, you can do things in the darkness and in secrecy anymore, especially when you're in leadership, when governments can't just say, so say one, so say all. We are doing things in darkness. You have to be able to verbalize and speak and present a compelling and convincing argument to the Liberian people why you voted this way or why you did not vote this way. And the other point that he's making, which I agree, is that if you say anybody can just get together, a group of people can just get together, bypass the law that you took an oath to. Somebody, can you please mute yourself? A law that you took an oath to violate, then you are setting a very dangerous precedent, and this is why we come to speak about. So, why should the students at LU obey the law when you are not obeying your law that you definitely took an oath to obey? Why should a student in a classroom setting, obey their teachers and obey the school rules when you're not doing it? So we gotta be very, very careful, as to how we take sides or how we convince or tell our Liberian people whether we are accepting this law or not, or this new rule or the way of behaving or not.
Dr. Richardson, thank you. While we upload those senators, I just want to remind you guys, ask your senator, right? Just ask them, what was your position in the removal of Fonati Kofa? They need to tell you. It's only fair. They need to speak to this. What was their position in the removal? Now, I'm going to call the names that I know, that they are saying, hell no. Those that said no, that don't follow my girl. Amara Kone, Edwin Mervyn Snow, Besonga Family, Betwawe, Aboche, Augustine Nukwe. They're about 9. I can name them. All right. They said no. Sir Joseph. They said we're not going to be part of this thing. Right now, the list we're receiving, I will name only 9 of them because I'm trying to confirm the rest. Nukwe, Prince Moyi, Alex Stado, Yan Twain, Momo Cyrus, Delon, Yombly, Zopeno, and James Banning. I think we are in trouble. It was rush. The rest of the guys now here, let's do it and put out a statement. Now, people will ask, did they seek legal advice as per the opinion from the Justice Minister? That would have been the best thing to do, to take an independent position, but it didn't. It didn't because the executive wanted it, and Delon and Yombly friend with the executive, and this thing was about Prince Moyi agreeing, and Yan Twine say, I agree. Yan Twine from Nima County now, he will agree. Momo Cyrus from Lofa, he will agree. And Zoe Penner said, I'm on board. Prince Moyi said, I'm from Bon County, no problem, I'm on board. Emmanuel Nukwe, the story from Mike Gibby, he said, I'm on board. So that's where we are, folks. And let me pull out this thing this is from Augustine Che. I respectfully disagree with my friend, former classmate and learning colleague, Councillor N. Oswald Twe, Minister of Justice and Attorney General, his interpretation of the Supreme Court's opinion in the House of Representatives case misrepresent the letter and spirit of the Apex Court's decision, as well as the letter and spirit of Article 33 and 49 of the Constitution of Liberia. However, where my disappointment lies most is not in the precedent explicit recognition of the majority black. Today, on account of the Attorney General advisory opinion, because he had tacitly recognized the black. And this is important to note. Everybody ran with the Justice Minister opinion. Everybody ran with it. Now I'm going to enter the last one, what he said. But what is even more disappointing is that the majority of my Senate colleagues use the adversary opinion and the precedent recognition as the basis for recognizing the majority black. That's it. Nonetheless, I blame the Supreme Court most for all this misinterpretation of its opinion and the confusion resulting thereof. So that's Augustine Chair. He and Albert Chair. So can Yombly come up with something? The president got Finnegan on too. Nathaniel follow my gay, he has his. Can somebody reach out to Yombly? Can she come up with something? I think it's crazy, Uncle Sam. Let's give you the last shot. We got to move on. And we uploading the picture for those that signed on and those that didn't, for the Liberian people to see them. But it was all initiated by DeLong. You know, it's something funny about this story that involved, you know, DeLong and Yombly representing Funati Kofa. That they went there, they met, you know, the Sam Gay, they met Sylvester Graceby. They went back and forth with negotiation, but honestly, they care less. So find something funny with it, though. Let me give you the last word, Uncle Sam.
So, the only way I believe, and the United States government said that, they said that very clearly, the only way that this matter can be resolved, it will be through compromise. What it means is that we need to have prominent people within the society, the churches, the imams, the civil society activists, and others to get together to build a roadmap to how, because this thing drags through Christmas, it goes through the Sunnah. This is really, really, really dragging the country down. And I don't think anybody who is patriotic wants to see this country, just glide. You want to see this country to be moving in a direction to solve the problems of the people. And I see it slowly building up a momentum. And I'm afraid that it might spill out in the streets. That's my greatest fear. And I hope those of the clergy who are listening to us, the civil society groups are listening to us, the international organizations that are in Liberia, the embassies and everybody, let's try to resolve this matter, because we are already in a very fragile sub-region: Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea. And then we're having a new administration coming in January in the United States that don't really give two rad you know what about Africa. So we need to really resolve these matters as quickly as possible so we can have a settled country and go back to normality. That's what I believe.
You want to say something that Richardson for us?
I was going to add that as leaders of our country, you know, I don't think the senators can just sit there and wash their hands and say, I'm not getting involved. We're having a crisis in our country, okay? We're having a crisis that could last forever. So I believe that they need to speak if they did not agree with, or if they agreed with Oscar Twa's interpretation of the court's ruling. They need to speak. You know, they are leaders of the country. So to say, I'm just sitting there washing my hand out of this here, I'll let them settle it, I think that's a safe way to go. Secondly, it sounded from what you just put, I think it was Augustine Chair, his reason for why he did not vote with the speakership decision was that he said that the senators follow Twe and the president. Okay, so it's almost like everybody want to say jump, then everybody saying ha, as opposed to what they're elected for. Use their intellect, think critically, ask questions, think about the future of Liberia. Don't just when somebody says jump, then you say ha, because the president say, oh, Twe say, oh, this is the ruling. Then the president say, oh, we want to follow this rule. I accept this. Then you say, okay, you just sit down there. No, I don't agree to that.
Okay, so again, I do agree with you, Dr. Richardson. It's just a mess up operation, and we hope that they can found reason to put a statement, but we'll continue to ask the question. And I wish to most of the senators, I asked them, what was your position? We can name Amara Cornyn from Bapodu County, Lieutenant Fado McGill from McGibby, Edwin Snow from Bombing, Basilga family from Grand Bassa, Betrawe from Riverside, I believe. You got St. Joseph from Mosserado. You have Joseph Jala from Lofa. You have 8 or 9 of them telling you, say, we didn't. And listen, guys, it's confusing like hell. I mean, we should have seen this on live TV that people can understand who are saying yes and who are saying no. Anything short of that, I think is one of those things that people try to play game. I think it's a game. They play the police and they play the labyrinth people, but we're talking about this. I hope we can move to now the reason why Uncle Sam put this thing here today about the United States decision, the statement. The United States statement. Now, there's so many connections to this statement. So many. So many connections to this. Uncle Sam, I want to bring you in. You were just brushing off on this. U.S. Embassy, Monrovia, Liberia, the United States Embassy is monitoring the current situation on Capitol Hill. The United States wants to see Liberia political processes play out peacefully and with respect for the rule of law. We said this yesterday, we discussed it, but let's go deeper. Liberians expect their leaders to uphold democracy and its practices, to include one that allows for open and transparent political processes and peaceful debate. We urge all parties to maintain peace. It is important that leaders show unity. Violence is never the answer, and it serves no one's interests. We strongly urge both sides to reach compromise so the important work of the legislature can continue for the Liberian people. Maintaining a democracy is never easy, and there will certainly be tough times. But the key is learning from the missteps and remaining steadfast in knowing there is no place, nor benefit to resulting to violence. Uncle Sam, they are telling you peacefully, rule of law. Talk to me about what came up this morning from the U.S. Embassy. Dr. Rachel, should I bring you in? Look, that Uncle Sam is frozen. Uncle Sam, you are us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Uncle Sam with us. Is he with us now? Okay. Yeah.
Uncle Sam. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah, look at the words that are crafted. And when this was not written in isolation, it was written with a clear focus on the problem, right? It talks about Liberia's political process to be played out peacefully, right? And then they want us to uphold democracy and its practices, right? And then they talk about transparent political processes and peaceful debate. This process to remove the speaker does not appear to pass the test of a transparent political process. Okay? We urge both sides to reach compromise. They're not saying that go ahead and follow the dictates of the Supreme Court. All they're saying is that if there appears to be confusion in it, both sides need to come together and resolve this, right? And they said maintaining a democracy is never easy, which is true. And there'll be tough times. But I can tell you, Stanton, that the United States government is very concerned, and it's not far-fetched that they will create some crisis committee or some crisis team to start monitoring the situation in Liberia. Because it will be like an early warning system. The ECOWAS was here already. And this is the second statement from the United States government through its embassy on the impasse in the legislature. They should send a clear signal out there to people who are celebrating and the people who feel aggrieved. Both of those sides should come together as quickly as possible, right? And hopefully with the support of the executive and civil society and others to resolve this crisis, because this crisis has gone too far and it needs to be resolved as quickly as possible to give the Liberian people a good Christmas.
Thank you very much. Again, I'm on the show, but I've been distracted by my brother Mo Ali, so I have to mute myself. Okay, sir, please tell Mo Ali to leave me alone. So let me come to you, Dr. Richardson. What say you about the U.S. statement?
So I'm happy that the U.S. spoke to the Liberian people and especially our leaders. But as usual, usually when the U.S. is monitoring situations, they do what I consider a double speak. They will not tell you what they want you to do. They will give you hints of, what they expect you to do because they're still observing and monitoring what is happening. And as everybody know, the U.S. has immensely invested in our country. They were very involved in our different wars that we have. So for them, they have a strong interest in the outcome of us following the rule of law. Now, as what they specifically said, something that I picked up and I enjoyed the most was violence is not the answer. Okay, we don't want any violence in the country. We want Liberians to solve this problem amicably. They can negotiate. We have the capacity to do that. Well, and I actually really appreciate them saying that we can learn from our missteps. And what to me it means that we've come a long way as Liberians. We have had major situations with multiple governments where oppression and corruption was the theme of the day. We isolated one group of people, and they are telling us we don't want you guys to continue bypassing the law, working in ways that will create corrupt behaviors, or forgetting the rule of law. Do not forget the rule of law, because when you do that, it leads to civil wars. It leads to crisis. So that's what they are reminding us, to make sure that we learn from our missteps, and our major missteps include just abiding to oppressive regimes, oppression, doing things that would cause people to be corrupt, and oppressing an entire citizenry. So that's what I have to add, Stanton.
Thank you, Dr. Richard. So let's welcome our brother Elremy Gray and Dr. Boblai. I'm going to come to you, Sis Glenny. But we woke up this morning with such a statement from the U.S. Embassy. Again, to each his own. What say you on what you read?
So I think, every time the embassy puts out a statement, they're very, very intentional about the words that they use, so that people can read between the lines. But even in America too, with the rule of law, that's a different story. It's a different story. But as it relates to the Liberian issue, I think is an alert to say that we're watching, we're seeing what you all are doing, we're encouraging you to please do it peacefully. Other than that, I don't think they will go and force themselves or insert themselves in the situation, but they're alerting the Liberian government that what is going on. See how you can amicably resolve this, so that this does not lead into something else. Those words that were chosen, I think they were intentional, so that people will understand that we're being watched, like it or not. I think it could be Dr. Propler or Colonel Gray, because Stanton on the phone.
I think it's Colonel Gray came in, and then Dr. Propler came in next. Colonel Gray.
It's about the American ambassador's statement this morning.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, hello. Happy weekend. And of course,
How you feeling?
gentlemen, Sam, happy weekend. Um, Firstly, let me take a little bite on the position of the senators. I don't think we have a history where senators have revealed their votes. The only time we came close was when Senator Mayunga, after the removal of Chair Chipo as chief of staff, Chief Justice. But I don't believe they only said majority voted against, and then one person, I think he was in Dr. Brookless County, which has to do with Magibi. That was where that one vote from Senator Mayunga came from that struck the camel's back, as far as I remember. In this case, the last time Justice Jana, when the senators voted, they placated with the issue of who voted for the removal of Justice Janet. But we learned later that the majority voted against him. With the Senate, I think the principle of 2/3 holds extremely stronger. It was that way too with the House of Rep. Until now, we're hearing something called majority minority. But the language there then was 2/3. It seems as though they have trampled over that principle that tends to fractionalize the Senate. The legislature, where you have majority minority. Whenever you hear those languages, you think about a civil war. People tend to fractionalize the whole so they can have some form of legitimacy to go forward. In this case, people are hanging on the majority have spoken, so therefore that's legitimacy right there, which is not even okay. That brings the point of the United States Embassy. If the or the US government, if the so-called majority were right, the United States could not have issued this declaration. It seems as though the rule of law are not being upheld. As a result, there's a caveat. They're just only telling you that upon their own investigation, probably, I'd like to see what the annual report will look like. Those people who are running around, including the Minister of Justice, who are lending his own partisan interpretation to the process. We have to be able to be contrite, to be fair and balanced. And I will look at this. This is about the tranquility, the survival of the state. It's not about anyone's political interest. Whenever you uphold the rule of law, you're trying to save the state from endearing into chaos. As a result, when we begin to fractionalize minority, majority, this and that, that's exactly the underpinning of chaos. So when a group of people just feel that because they're in numbers, if that number is not supported by law, definitely it's chaos. So in this case, this issue is just where it's supposed to be. Now it has gone up there. You expect that there will be that division will carry itself up into the Senate because we are humans. There will always be
opposition. Let's come back. Let's do another round on this, Connor Gray.
There will always be opposition. There is a 2/3 that governs the upper the Senate. If that 2/3 is not upheld, then also there will be a chaos in there, my brother. So I think we'll have to be able to be careful. Let's be careful of this issue. This issue is very deep. It's deeper than what we anticipate. Well, thank you.
Colonel Grace, thank you very much. There's a problem, let me hold you, man, because you see, I called this guy name and he called me. There's a problem, please, I beg you, let me hold you. These are the guys that I can only call on the phone to contribute to the threat because the ombudsman will hold them responsible. Let me bring in the managing director of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation, Mohammed Ali. Mohammed Ali, welcome to the show again.
Good evening, and good evening to everyone. I'm following, and I just called not to take part in this debate because it doesn't concern me, but to react to something that Conor Gray just said. Conor Gray just said that, when you hear in the legislature minority blood, majority blood, and a civil war coming, that tells me that Conagry has never followed legislative politics or parliamentary politics
No, I
anywhere.
didn't say civil war. I said chaos.
Well, let you finish. Let you
I
finish.
didn't say civil war. No,
Let
but
you finish. You will have your time to
no, I
respond.
will not.
Conagry, let you finish. You will have your time to respond, please.
Yeah, but
Senator, I hope you give me time because
yes, you will have your time. Wait.
I
You will
hope
have
you
your
give me
time.
the time, man.
Yes. Let you finish, please. Go ahead,
in
bro.
almost every my man, I just get 1 minute. In almost every jurisdiction in the world, legislators have majority bloc, they have minority bloc, they have majority leader, they got minority leader. As a matter of fact, in the very United States you live, Conagry, in the House there, they get a majority whip. The majority whip is the leader of the majority bloc, and they get a minority whip. The minority whip is the leader. Even in this very Liberia, where we never have the plethora of political parties, there used to be majority bloc. I remember once, Ibn Masale was the head of the majority bloc. It happens everywhere in the world. So there is nowhere where you say because now there is a majority bloc, minority bloc, then civil war coming. You stop giving those kind of fake information to the country and to the audience. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So let's give you a chance to reply. My brother Conagry.
You know, Stanton, the framers of the Constitution made it clear that when it comes to matter of deciding issues, there is a 2/3 majority they always look for. I said in a given situation, the moment you start hearing about the minority black and the majority black, you understand, it means there is conflict. Otherwise, you use the right legislative language and never talk about civil war. Morally, it's Baghdad Bob. He has this tendency of twisting people word and then he limps from the scene as though he has made a declaration. There is no chaos. We're not staring, we're dwelling on the issue that at hand. The issue is that there's a division downstairs there, so it will carry itself upstairs there. To say I'm advocating about civil war, I don't understand. Morley knows nothing about legislative processes. He's carrying himself as though he's this Herculean guy who understands everything. But there's flaw in everything he says. But if he sits down a debate, you understand, he will understand his own shortcoming. Definitely. So I didn't say that, my brother.
Thank you. Let them bring in Dr. Bobler. Talk to us on the U.S. statement that they put out today. Dr. Bobler, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stanton, and good evening to my fellow panelists and all the Liberians who watch, support, weigh in all around the globe. Keep doing that. You're making a difference, one show at a time. Look, the statement was an admonition. The statement was a reminder of something we should already know. This that the United States want to see Liberia political processes play out peacefully, and that the people of Liberia expect their leaders to conduct themselves in a democratic, in a peaceful manner. The first part of the statement is reminding us that we need to be able to engage democratically. We need to be able to disagree without being disrespectful or definitely violent and derogatory in our disagreement. It's possible. The other thing they're saying is to reminding the leader, which is the part that's more important to me, that unto whom much is given, much is required. So if you're a lawmaker, even if you are not being overpaid like most of Liberians think they are, you have this great privilege to lead people, to make laws, to shape their lives. Stop acting like grown-up boys from downwater south. Talking nonsense, breaking down doors and chairs is so beneath them, and it's a disgrace to the people of Liberia. And the Americans are reminding them. But here's the thing I want us all to think about. When you don't conduct yourself properly, you belittle yourself. Remember, we are a dependent sovereign nation, and America is our biggest benefactor. So we go to these people, ask for this and that. So conduct yourself properly. So when you walk into Washington, D.C. or wherever, they respect you. That's a part of the Rwanda story, Stanton, that we always leave out. We look at the transformative things, the structural changes, the system changes. But one of the things that Rwandans did early, they conduct themselves with pride and dignity. They said, no, we're doing this one. No, we're doing this one. Do that so people will respect you. That's what the man's saying. And we, the people, expect our leaders to conduct themselves in an honorable way. I think, but again, it's something that should be on all of our minds. Do well by the people and do what you do peacefully.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Pople. Uncle Sam, you want to rest on this thing? We got to go to the other comment. Have you spoken on the government? No, you did it. Let Clinton go because Clinton has not spoken.
Not yet.
Kamala go, yes. Kamala go.
Look, the very first part of this statement says that the U.S. government is monitoring the situation on Capitol Hill. When the Americans tell you they are monitoring the situation, it means they have some interest in what's going on, and they are hoping that people are going to add a call in it. So that's caught my attention immediately. And then they went on to say that we have to resolve our political processes peacefully, and of course, most importantly, to uphold the rule of law. We know with what's going on in Liberia, there's a lot of undermining of the laws and constitution. So they're calling on the parties to respect the rule of law. They've also called that hope, that our leaders will uphold democracy. And this is what the statement said. And as part of that process, to include open and transparent, something that the Senate didn't do. They decided to, in secrecy, they will, go and decide who the speaker will be. They will recognize. But, democratic processes should be open and transparent. And finally, they recognize that there's a legal victory to this thing there, but there's also a need for political compromises. And they've asked for unity between amongst our leaders and to compromise so that the business of the Liberian people can go on. So they and if you read the last part of the statement, it talks about the challenges of democracy and the disagreements and upheavals of democracy. But ultimately, there is no disagreement that people cannot come together to discuss and find a way forward. The American story, the American experience itself, the history, constitution is all about compromises. And I think they wanted to send that to Liberia. But most importantly, that we are watching, we have interest in the situation, so know exactly what you're doing.
Thank you very much. I want Uncle Sam. Governor, you're done, right? Yeah, thank you. I want Uncle Sam to finish up. Uncle Sam, can you close out on this American thing and let's just answer it? What next now? What next, Uncle Sam?
So then, what should happen is people should not look at this thing like a victory if their side does not make it, right? If Fonati people should not be like acting victorious and what you call it is that gloating against the other side if they were to get the what do you call it he said the bill of information from the Supreme Court and rule in their favor. There should be some degree of magnanimity. From this other side, there's been no degree of magnanimity at all. I mean, they have other cards. They have 43 people. They have the executive. They have the justice minister on their side. Then they're taking actions, suspending 7 of their colleagues. Okay? They're not, Richard Cohn hasn't placed a call to Fonati Kofa to say, brother, let's sit down and let's talk. None of them, even they are surrogates of the Unity Party. People like my good friend Moali and Stephen Johnson, they're gloating like they won a victory, like they won something, and then they injure the other side, and the other side must just be, take its wounds and lick it and go. That's not a country. Countries don't operate with winners and losers. It has to be a win-win situation. Even if I give up something, right? At least reach out to me as a Liberian citizen where we can coexist. We have to coexist. This is not about winning. It's about us coexisting. So because their attitude is what is causing all of these ruckus out there with people talking about capital lockdown on December 17th. And I don't support that, of course. I don't support anybody coming in the street to demonstrate because of the degree of fragility in our country today. I don't support that. But if they were seeming to be magnanimous and reaching out there with olive branch and trying to calm the situation, you won't have the other side feeling hurt. So that's my position on this matter.
Well, thank you. I don't know the way forward though, but we're going to watch a lot of information coming here about what's going on. We're just going to watch. And Clinton, you're off the camera though, just to let you know. And we're going to watch and see what next with this whole House of Representative issue. Like we were told yesterday, everything has been stripped off from Fonati Kofa, and they're moving in the direction now with the suspension. But I can announce, having spoken to some of them, that's saying that, well, they are going to slow down on the suspension. I don't know why the change of mind coming there. And you know, yesterday we went hard. These guys were talking about suspending Ellen Atogula, Dixon Civil, and what's the lady named Cooper, Presidia Cooper. Right now they got 7 on the bench, 7 suspended. They have Edward Pape Flomo, Abu Kamara, J. Marvin Cole, Alex Noah, Zina Norman, Eugene Cuddy, and Frank Safoko Jr. They have all of them. You understand that these are all seditions and they wanted to add more. So, but today they came out and said, no, maybe you think the Americans scaring them, that they begin to go soft now. They're saying they will not suspend anyone else, and that's it. Well, I mean, what's your take? You think the message for the embassy now playing into this whole House of Representative issue?
I'm not sure
Well,
what's playing. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was. Yeah,
go ahead,
I'm not,
Dr. Richardson. Go ahead.
thank you. I'm not sure what's playing into the change of decision. Whether it's the Americans, whether it's spoon talk, because we had a lengthy discussion about what might be helpful for the country at this moment. That suspension of those members was not more in a stage of negotiation. But I think it's a good thing that they're slowing down. I think it's a good thing because we're asking them to negotiate. We're asking them to be respectful of Liberian people. So I think it's a good thing because, as I stated yesterday, yes, I appreciate that, the people that is suspended, we have to take into consideration that they have family members. It's the holiday season. But we have to remember that we are disenfranchising a whole district when you suspend someone from Bobolu or from Sano or from Barpalu. I'm sorry, that's 2 different counties there. Or from Sano County, you are disenfranchising a whole district. Who's going to represent for those amount of time? Whether that 4 months, 3 months, four sessions, 5 sessions, 6 sessions? Who's going to speak for those people? In those districts. That's why they elected a representative to do that, to make laws for them, to have oversight responsibility, and to represent them. So who's going to do that?
So the Clinton, you were speaking on this issue. They are reconsidering their decision not to suspend furthermore, Clinton.
Look, yesterday I spoke about legitimacy. I think what they need to do is to squash all of that suspension and everything. There is still one step in the legal process that is happening. They need to wait for that. And while that is going on, they need to start to have a conversation. Look, I've said in the beginning, there is absolutely no need for what's going on. If the majority Black believe that they have the numbers, if they're confident that they're able to remove the speaker, this whole thing should not have gone the way it has gone so far. The process is to remove the speaker. It's so simple. You go in the house, it's very simple. Once you have numbers, and people making this whole argument, well, we have the number, there's a scrambling number, the legislature is about number. If that is the case, all they needed to do was to they already have the number or just follow the procedures. There was no reason to bypass any of the procedures that, the way they did. But it's good that American has spoken, because this is not just a message for the majority Black. It's a message for President Bouakai and his government. It's a message for the Supreme Court. It's a message for all the actors involved that, look, there's going to be a day of accountability.
Okay, that's what happened. She need help. She need help. She does. She need help. So let's go to Glenny. Glenny, she need help. She got to run to daddy.
I know. That was so cute. But this is the thing I wanted to say. I think this morning I listened to Julius Jar and Kroger yesterday, and he inadvertently threatened Julius Jar yesterday on the show. And I also think that
it was not inadvertent.
Yeah, it wasn't inadvertent. He directly threatened him. Let me correct that.
Deliberate.
Yes. Deliberate. He intentionally called the
I
show.
was looking for that clip though. Can anyone send it?
I'm gonna send it because I shared it on my page today. And I wanted to say that I think the Liberian people, not just the Americans, but I think the Liberian people are aware, they are talking, and so they're recognizing that some of the things they're doing, they're being too hasty. So right now they're going slow in their steps, because when you suspend 7 people, and it's almost like Kroger was saying, like he didn't care, like almost like telling Julius Jar that you're a journalist, you don't know what you're doing, and the way you're interpreting is wrong, and you should not do that. And I think a lot of Liberian people are so aware of what is going on in the country that it's become an embarrassment for some of them, because people are not asking questions. So that's what it is. While it is that America and the embassy may have issued a notice, Liberians are also talking and questioning, and regardless of what side of the aisle you are, these people have families, these people have areas that they're representing. You can't just now come, and how are you planning on even negotiating with them if you're going to suspend all of these people? I think that's what it is. Liberians are more aware of what's happening, and this majority Black is not taking step backs because history is going to judge them for the things that they're doing. I think that's what's attributing to that. But I'll share the video with you.
Yeah, share that video. Let's play. Uncle Sam, come in before we go to Conor Gray, and we'll welcome Eduardo on the show. Uncle Sam, let's hear you. Why are they backtracking now?
Okay, so look, I just want Liberian people to just look at this logic, right? There are only 43 of them in their session, sometimes 2 or 3 missing, sometimes like 40. So if they have 49 people, they will have 49 representatives sitting in there. That's just simple logic. And I want all my Liberian people to just look at the thing what they call logic, but they call it that, the way they call common sense. You gotta go to school for you to be having common sense. You gotta get master's degree. You gotta even finish high school set. But the Constitution says you need 49 people, but only 43 people sitting in a room where they say they have the majority. So you don't think about it, my people, Liberian people. Now, for the 3 people there, for the 3 people versus Liberia, that's all this is. For the 3 people versus the entire country, for the 3 people holding the whole country hostage. Only for the 3 people. It's not 49. There are 73 members of the legislature, the lower house. And you only have 43 people sitting down in a room and deciding the fate of the entire nation. Yeah, people, you forget about the Unity Party thing, Richard Kuhn thing, Fanati thing. Just look at the whole thing in terms of simple logic. Only 43 people sitting down, and sometimes 2 or 3 can grant excuses. They can grant excuses. So it's only 43 people. That's it. Sitting in the room. It's not 49. It's not 50 like they have on their resolution. They presented 50 names to the Supreme Court. And those people are not sitting with them in that chamber where they're sitting. You just think about it, my Liberian people.
Why are they pulling back now and saying no more suspension and we gotta negotiate? Why?
Yeah, I don't believe they're pulling back. I think just because I don't think these people will react in any kind of international statement. That's not their nature. These are 43 people, and I've been calling them renegades for the last 2 months. That's how they behave. Look, when the matter left the first time, the Supreme Court sent it back. They hastily went and elected a new speaker. Nobody campaigned to be speaker. Nobody. There were nobody announced an intention. There was no what do you call it in Israel? Nobody, a candidate running against Richard Kuhn. You've never seen that in the Liberian legislature before, where only one man, I mean, on a white ballot in a political house, only one man. So this is like a dictatorship. This is not democracy.
So let them bring in Colonel Gray, Dr. Bobla, and Mr. Dualu. Colonel Gray, it seems that they are going back, because I spoke with a couple of them. They say enough is enough. We are not going to suspend anyone else, and they're trying to call for calm. Colonel Gray, you think it's too late, or you think it's a good step?
You know, Stanton, from the get-go, these people were not certain what they were doing. Now they're looking for legitimacy, and their ears are hardly pressed on the ground as well. From day one, they said, they had a session where they refer to as plenary, void of the speaker and the deputy speaker. They were not sure of that process. Then they became emboldened when the deputy speaker joined their ranks. They said, oh, now I think we got some voice. They even made it known. You know, follow the timeline. There will always be room for adjustment, because they're not sure. It's like a new coup d'etat in a state, and then the international community has gone wild, and then they're finding out legitimacy gradually. They're not even sure. Yesterday, I listened to that show. I think I made a comment in the room. I listened to that show where Koga called. Koga sounds just like Mo Ali. He threatened this guy, stating that they are the one causing chaos, that Julius Jair did not know what he was saying. And Julius Jair went to work and said, look, I stand on my ground, that if you want to reach out to, because this fight is against you and Funadi Kofa. These other individuals, there's nothing in there for them. To threaten them, you're expelling them, you're alienating them. He says not that spirit of conciliation is not being fostered. So I know Koga went haywire. You understand? You're the one bringing confusion in this country, this and that, all that stuff. You understand? Talking about these are the journalists who are spouting fire and so on and so forth. But so they're not even sure at this point that what they're doing is right. That's why you see them, they're trying to find room for compromise. When there's a public backlash, and the show yesterday exposed them more. So they gone back to the iron curtain, their little room in reverse, and say, wait a minute, this is resulting into public chaos. Let's avoid this. Let's do this. So they're making that adjustment. And Stanton, I think the more we talk about it on this issue, that look, if you want to replace a speaker, there's a clear way on how to do it. You don't leave the room and go sit down somewhere in a hotel and decide that that's where the majority is, so therefore that's where the election is going to be. You follow as plenary. That's so unconstitutional. We continue to say, people will kind of say, well, there was a group that met in Virginia and so on and so forth. Look, anytime you want to sit as a plenary, there should be a presiding officer, and that presiding officer is the speaker. If he's not there, then legitimately he should have a reason for being absent, and then probably the deputy can go in his shoes. That's why those two are the ones that are elected up there. The rest of the parties, they're appointed. So when you go sit down somewhere void of the speaker, void of the deputy speaker, that gathering is illegitimate. That's exactly what the law is calling for. Is saying unconstitutional, gathering. So they're still not sure. They'll be coming, making adjustment. They're trying.
Thank you. Let me break. You know what, Dr. Bobla, what I'm saying here, with more international backlash, with more international statement, I think these guys are trying to reposition. What would be the best word here? They're trying to reposition and reach out. Talk to me, Dr. Bobla. Your take.
So thank you, Stanton. I just want to respond first to the last comment about 43 people. Yes, it's 43 people who would like all of the representatives to be in the House. That's important. We're prayerful. We'll get back to that place. But let's keep it real. 43 or 73, what have they done since they started? What have they done? A significant. Obama first 100 days legislative agenda, they signed extension for limitation of equal pay. You could fight longer to get your money. See that? They invested in people. They signed into law the CHIP program, a new extended version, Children Health Insurance Plan for all states in the United States. You see that? Human capital investment. What have we done here? We got our money for cars. We went to our retreat. We fighting for speakership. So 4373 doesn't make a difference. The Liberian people have not benefited so far from the assembly of this legislative group in the House. We're praying that they will do better as we move forward. So the goal is to get them all in the room to do the people's work. In the meantime, the ordinary Mayanwe and Mapu get up every day and go in the hustle. And we need our lawmakers to get themselves together, like we say in Liberia, come to yourself so you can do the people's business. There's plenty of work to be done. And we can't afford this kind of charade that just delay the people's business. Look, I like to keep it about the people. I'm sorry. I like to keep it about the people. I don't get too excited about all of the drama because at the end of the day, there's not much about anything when it comes to affecting the lives of ordinary people. And that's where I stay. Make it about the people.
Eduardo, you want to come in on this one?
I'm not going to go too long. I'm just going to say this. If you get a bunch of leaders that sway with the wind, their leadership is not something that can lead a country. Their leadership has to be based in certain principles or ideal that cannot be swayed, not even if the Americans speak. But if your decisions will be swayed because you say the British have spoken or the Americans spoke or somebody else speaks, then you are not leading your people. This is why you always have to do the right thing when it comes to governing your society. Look, Stanton, they're not stopping this or suspending the suspensions of the fellow parliamentarians or the fellow representatives in the House. They are only doing that to appease, not to get results, but to say, my man, you're leaving for the sake of peace. Let me tell you something about for the sake of peace in Liberia. There is nothing more dangerous in the society than for the sake of peace. There is nothing more dangerous. In fact, for the sake of peace is more dangerous than corruption. Let me quantify this for you. When a man corrupts a society, and because you say, oh, the man belongs to the Bassa tribe, and if we prosecute this man, the Bassa people will come against me for the sake of peace, when you've done your weakened Grand Bassa County. It is okay for you to check out Grand Bassa County to some extent to make sure that is not repeated. For the sake of peace has brought us here as a people. For the sake of peace is more dangerous than corruption. It is because of for the sake of peace. This is why you see LU graduates barely reading above 10th grade level. That's for the sake of peace. The reason why I read like garbage full of that, that's for the sake of peace. That's what's happening. When you see PCS, Painesville Community School, where the trainers sitting back to back in the same classroom, almost 400 people, that's because for the sake of peace. That's what we do to our country. We can't be doing for the sake of peace. The laws exist for a reason. The laws exist for a reason. The only way any viable society has flourished on God's green earth, don't take my word for it, go to history. Even here in these Americas, there was a period in this country when the Americans could not tame the Wild West. They found bounty hunters. If you stole, you went to the Wild West, they said bring the men dead or alive. The reason for that was the law has to prevail for a society to develop. A leader cannot sway with the wind. He has to stand on his principles. And I believe these legislators don't stand on any principle. They sway with the wind. They're not leaders. They're Wawa sellers.
Again, Eduardo, thank you very much. And we're going to bring in Clinton. You want to finish up? We got to go to LTA and this to be continued.
Look, I'm looking forward to this week, hoping that things are going to calm down, that the government, the president has to, again, I listened to Dr. Brookler and he talked about, legislative agenda and what our people, our legislators should be doing, and they haven't done that. They've been passing all around the place, RLJ. But this is also, a problem for the administration. Every administration should have a legislative agenda. They should be able within the first year to, whatever the campaign on, put something on the floor and says, Mr. Barker came to power, what he wants to do. He should be telling us in these 11 months, this is what I've been able to accomplish in the legislature. Instead, what we're saying, is he and his officials are rallying behind this lawless act and this control. They need to stop. And, hopefully this week we'll hear from the Supreme Court, and we'll put the rest of this thing in the Liberian business. People's business can go on.
So, let's welcome you, but we'll hold you for a second. Let me ask you guys very quick. This whole thing, while we're closing on the Dr. Richard thing, do you think Joseph Barker, anyway, this going to affect Joseph Barker 5 years remaining?
Yes, I do think that it is going to affect him, because it is under his leadership that, this is history that we've seen the House of Representatives behave in this way. We will remember, as we who like to speak about these incidents and say, for one of the first time that we saw a division in the House of Representatives. Now, how is he going to get? My eyes are open and I'm watching to see how he's going to get his budget and his agenda through. There's a lot of talk like, we want to use this speakership, this illegal speakership. In my opinion, they didn't use the rule of law to have this speakership to carry out the president's agenda. So my question is, what is so different? What is the speaker that you have now is going to do versus the speaker that you had before? Or why are you in such a rush? Why are you in such a hurry? Why couldn't you wait to gather your 49 persons to remove the speaker, and then we'll see? I mean, the fact that you don't even know, or you're not even working to have some sort of negotiation, speaks a lot to me. It speaks volume. But to answer your question, yes, I think this leaves a red on the president's agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Richard. Saying, Glennie, do you think this will have some serious issue moving forward in 5 years? Even if they try to make peace like they're trying to do now, you think you're going to see some bold step taking? That's something that Dr. Bobla was talking about. How would this cripple Joseph Yema Barker presidency?
Well, I mean, every decision or every position, there are two sides. There are people who will be for it, and there are people who will be against it. And I think this is going to play out later on, that the people who are not happy with the way it has played out there will definitely be some ramifications on how President Barker and his government handle this. So I'm pretty sure that I don't think President Barker is going to run again, but there are parties that are connected to him, even the representatives themselves. Some of them, they may have challenges when they run again with their people in a different area. So I think everything has a potential to be a problem for people, and this one and how it has played out over 6 weeks now is definitely going to pose some problem for not just Joseph Barker but Unity Party people, because even when you're talking to Unity Party people, is that everybody is saying the same thing. Kofa must go. It's almost like we condemn CDC for being fanatics of George Weah, and here we are again. There are fanatics of UP. Everybody is saying.
Let me ask a question real quick. If this not the political impact, you think it's going to be greater down the line? If even President Barker say, "I'm not running again"?
I think what will happen to it, how it's going to play out, will depend on how this saga ends. If it ends and everybody is happy, everybody is settled, and there is some way to bring them together, then maybe. But if it's not going to, there will be problems. I mean, it will continue. This is history here, so we will always refer to this time.
Uncle Sam, take us there before we go to that to Bopla year. You think this is going to be something serious moving forward? If it's not Joseph Barker, whoever comes next, Jeremiah Kwan, whoever, will this have some very detrimental effect to the political life?
100 years from now, students of Liberian politics will be referring to this, because this is going to be landmark. This is seminal. This is landmark. And the people who are involved on the other side, the 43 lawmakers, right? If and when they win and they don't accelerate an agenda that improves the lives of the Liberian people quickly, and we have this business as usual, this minimalist development, and the people are stay as poor as they are, would it be in 2029 or poorer? There's nothing significant. There's no improvement in the economy in terms of electricity access. If we don't have things about improvements, if things don't radically look, January of this year, even people who supported the CDC were hoping for a brand new day. Even people who supported, okay, and all of that now has basically just disintegrated into uncertainty. And I speak to people deep within the Unity Party every day. Friends of mine, which I would never say and I would die with my stomach, they are very disappointed. People who spend tens of thousands of dollars to see Joseph Braga elected, they're very, very disappointed. And then if that sort of thing starts seeping within the body politic and goes down to in the lower ranks of society to the poor people, like people that live in my community, and if they don't see anything significant, woe be them, because I mean it means that Jeremiah Kuhn, even if Joseph Braga does not run and he runs, he will lose badly. All those 43 lawmakers there, they will probably lose their seat if they don't change this, if they don't turn this thing around. If they win, they have to accelerate development and they have to do things so fast to kind of stabilize and pacify the country. That's my position.
Oh, Dr. Bobla, talk to us. Your position on this.
Look, clearly we need our first branch of government, lower house, to work better. Clearly we want them to work together, all 73 of them, under the same leadership, doing the people's business. I believe, and I don't honestly know the clear path forward, but I believe resolve itself. Here's what I think we can be doing as a people, and the president can be doing as the leader of the nation. First of all, the president should focus on his agenda that affect the lives of majority of people. Yeah, two things, Stanton, that popped up recently. A few weeks ago, the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission received requests from LEC to raise rates substantially. And then yesterday, LTA followed suit to raise rate, which means your dollar scratch card now will get you fewer minutes, small data. Those are two critical commodities that you don't mess with because it will directly reduce the people's purchasing power and make them live even poorer. This president is just saying, I said, we're not doing that one. The people are already overtaxed and underserved. You need to push an agenda that affect people's lives. You can do that without this legislative group. Keep talking to them so they come together. But here's what I really think we also need to do as a people. I know this will not be popular, but I'm saying anyway. We are spending way too much time talking about this. We're giving it too much attention. Let's move on to other more important things and leave these people to resolve their issues. Because like I keep saying, they have not shown that any of the legislative gathering have affected the lives of ordinary people. So let's stop. There are plenty of things going on in the country that we need to deal with. Let leader one alone. They're getting way too much attention for doing nothing. I think it will resolve itself, Stanton, over time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bobla. But I ain't going to leave here alone. The people, this is our people, that's our capital building. Decisions are made there that will create the making or breaking of the system and the country. I mean, I understand that we get the LTA. We're about to talk about the LTA. We'll be talking about the LDC issue. But leaving this alone, even the international body watching this, these guys are trying to create a problem. But again, I respect you, though, Dr. Poplar. Thanks. Conor Great?
Yes, Senator, I agree with you on that. I think our meddling in this issue, the differences are clear that we're making the difference. But I would say it took the governor of Oyo State 5 years to develop to transform that former backward state in Nigeria to one of the most prosperous states in the union, the Nigerian Union. In the United States, you have 4 years as a president to perfect your
We
policy.
stood as that, Colonel Greg. We stood as that.
It's called
We
Oyo,
stood.
OYO.
Okay, thank you.
Just go. The documentary are all over the place. Just go there and look at it. That guy took 4.5, 5 years to transition that entire state. But here in the United States, it takes a president 4 years to perfect their policy. I still feel that in 5 years, President Buakai can do a lot. But there are certain things that, as Dr. Bropler has pointed out, that those are political commodities. You don't touch them if you want to sustain your popularity. And the Georgia administration never remained the same when they took that 3-day free call. And they took that into the first ballot, and most of the folks were affected. So I still believe that President Buakai can make the difference in the next 5 years if he adjusts well. But this legislative issue, this fracas in the legislature, it's not something anybody should tend to overlook. Yes, you want to replace a speaker that will give you a committee position that will help to pass certain budget that will not audit you and all of that stuff, because this is a cool thing. People want a speaker that will protect their interests.
Real quick, on the grid, we gotta go. It's after 11.
When you come to somewhere, you rush yours, man. Other folks,
No, I mean, what you everybody 1 minute,
let
my
somebody
brother.
else talk. Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you. Eduardo, again, the military school went to Conograde. They didn't attend that school, my man. We talked to the point and go. You mentioned about older state in Nigeria, and we're talking about like, bro, Conograde.
Just leave it now, Stanton. Leave it. You couldn't invest more. But Stanton, let's get serious back here. All of my broadcast spoke about the arrest agenda. Anybody will help me if I'm wrong. I think it was agriculture, road, education, sanitation, tourism, and I'm missing something else. And reconciliation.
Rule of law, education, sanitation.
And hopefully we got 2 E's in our arrest, and our whole employment was going to be there as well. That's for me. Who's monitoring the arrest agenda, Stanton? Who's monitoring it? Who's pushing forward to making sure sanitation is being attended to? What is the definition that we've declared in the country that we can touch when it comes to the issue of tourism in the country? Look, Honorable Bucket has to succeed. Colonel Gray, you're absolutely right. 5 years is more than enough time. The blueprints are out there if the president wants to change this thing around. We got 5 years, more than enough time. And I hope Honorable Bucket sees this and hears this and recognizes and re-strategize the plan where we can reorient the country in the span of 5 years. The book is saying, no wrong. Maybe the 4 year that people are trying to put a foot down. But the other 5 years were too good. And I pray this becomes the reality of our country. But then again, it is what it is, Stanton. Mr. Clinton.
But you asked a good question. Who monitoring the arrest? I think I'm more Ali monitoring the arrest agenda. Let's go talk to Clinton.
Look, it's gonna, with the way the Buakai administration is going, it's gonna take an economic miracle for the UP to win 2029. They're going to need an economic miracle, especially with some of the policies they're engaging in with, right now. You can't touch stuff like data is a political commodity. It's a new political commodity. You can't touch the kind of things. You're touching the lives of the people. And as far as what's happening on Capitol Hill, I don't know if the vice president, who from our indication wants to be on the UP ticket in 2029, this is going to hurt his chances. You got to play this thing, or like when Americans say we are watching, they're watching. And if there are people who are found to be undermining the rule of law, there's going to be a day of reckoning. When key people, in his team, are placed on sanctions and travel restrictions, it's going to affect his chances to contest 2029. They should be focused on the everyday issues of the Liberian people, and that's why when Dr. Bupler talked about the legislative agenda, what has this administration achieved as far as the legislative agenda? What have this done in the last 11 months? To change the lives of the Liberian people, we've not seen much. So they need to really address some of the most pressing issues to the Liberian people, and so far they've not been done that. They're focused on the wrong things. We're focused on the wrong things, and it's really going to hurt Con or whoever's going to be on the UP ticket. I think look, I spoke to somebody today who used to call me. This person used to call me, and they used to laugh at me, especially during the election time. They used to be the pape. This person today, true story, says they regret that this person expressed, you couldn't believe, and how disappointed they are. So it's getting to the Liberian people. The people it's a lot of impatience.
Thank you, Clinton. As I go ahead, wait on this one, then we'll go to LTA. We're going to talk briefly about the other issues surrounding our country because it's a lot. Asik, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, and hi to everyone. Thanks for holding it down. It is very hard to undo something that has been done already. People up to today are still talking about things that happened during George Weah's term, the first year. So it is not possible that you will make the people forget everything that is going on today. A lot of people say the president got 5 years to go. I disagree with it. First off, to election, he got 4 years to election day. Before election day, he got about 3 years. I can tell you. From now to 2027 will be the time President Boyka got to do anything. After 2027, anything you do will seem to the people that because of vote, now we're going to election, so you're doing it. So it is a tough thing. I know for a fact, so the next election is not 5 years, it's 4 years. Now, before the election, there will be period of campaigning. And when you are campaigning and you're doing things, the people, when they say that because campaign coming now, you're voting, now why you coming, you're doing this and that. So you basically have from now to 2027 to do a lot of things. But as the way things going, my brother Kamude, I want to agree with you. People have been seeing miracles. I'm sure Jesus will appear on earth some kind of a way, but we will absolutely need to see the cloud open and Jesus coming down for something to happen. As of now, the country isn't okay. When you talk to people, you know that the country isn't okay.
So, guys, one of the things we're going to start with, because the country is not okay, the mess about LTA, though, the information coming from LTA, the big mess. I mean, why? Before I go to Dr. Richard saying, you currently in Liberia. I think you and Eduardo, right? No, let me go to you. You in Liberia. Eduardo he's on his way. Dr. Boplet, you talk about the LC issue, wanted to keep it for another time till we receive all of our documents. But this LTA, we got a lot of documents on the Dr. Boplet. Why you think these people are repeating something that George Weah did? You remember the take back 3 days? You remember that, Dr. Boplet? The free 3 days? And compared to now, that people are crying on the street, bring back our data, bring back our data, bring back our data. That the financial constraint that have placed on businesses, on an individual, on students. Talk to me, Dr. Bopler. What are you hearing?
So, Stanton, again, there are certain things that directly impact people, and they have this domino effect. One of them is communication. The other one is energy. We all know that our major source of energy is electricity, and we know the power of communication. Yes, we may not have the most sophisticated connectivity system in our country, but at least even with your Nokia, your button phone, you can be in Bunkinema, you can say hello, hello, and you can transact business. With your mobile money, you can transact business. To at this time propose an increase. One is unnecessary. Two is insensitive because most of our people don't work. Three, you cannot show us why you want to increase. Look, where all of you are at, I was there too. In Jefferson County, they say all the money from lotteries go for education. Every quarter, they would tell the people how much money they raised and where it went. We saw the children on buses, they eating lunch, they carry a laptop home, they got good library. You just keep taxing us, and you're not telling us How you going to spend the money on us? But you brag to the IMF about the increased revenue envelope. I'm sorry, we are totally unimpressed with more revenue that doesn't translate into better living for people. Don't increase anything on data. Let me just put some perspective as I close. Some time ago, $1 you could talk for 23 hours. All day you could talk. Now that 45 minutes. You squeeze every time they tax the companies, you know what they do? They're not Red Cross people, they're business people. They pass it on to us. Less talking time, less data time, less ability to do business, less ability to connect. It's wrong. We're overtaxing people, we're underserving people. Stop it. Leave the poor people alone. And here's one last thing right here. They came up with this fire extinguisher. Nobody could show all the data that generated
That the
electricity.
problem will come there. That the problem will come
Okay,
there.
okay. I'll hold my comments for that one. Yeah.
Greg, everybody watching your time. Let me come back to you and bring you in. Because you're the corner. Conor Greg, talk to us about the LTA. And did you see that statement that they pulled up? Man, it's even more embarrassing. Talk to us.
Santa, I saw all of those things, and we're dwelling on the issue that these people are overpaid and the working less. The people are benefiting from them. So the most natural thing to do is to begin to and to find way to support their bad habit. This is not going to benefit anybody, at least not the consumer. But remember, these people want to stay within that salary bracket, and they know that they are being overpaid at the expense of the consumer. So the most natural thing to do is to raise price, but that's the most unpopular thing again to do, because we're talking about the rate of the U.S. exchange coming down. I mean, those sweet choruses that we're hearing, now we're seeing what is going to accompany them. They're going to make the consumer that's supposed to benefit from some of these economic realities will start feeling the pinch. What the need of the rate coming down when my data is reduced? I can talk less. You understand? But remember, this guy want to stay within that. I see the managing director. I seen the like of Abdullah Kamal, all of the guy wearing designer clothes and the showing off and all of that stuff. That is their personal life. But how are the functionaries affecting the common person out there? That is the looming question they need to answer. If you ask me, I think people will not be desirous of them being there when it means nothing with a lower rate, but then you can talk less on the phone. You don't have the income that will buy more commodities as this, because everything else is way up, but the rate is down. What does that mean?
Let me give you a little story on this, then we can bring the rest of the team. Dr. Richardson, Uncle Sam, Eduardo Clinton, and Isaac Doe. So this is what happened. They engaged Abdullah Kamara, this guy, who is the chairperson on LTA. The cell phone company, they engaged him. Listen, we need to make some extra money. Now, Abdullah have some relationship with these people in the past. He brought it to all of them. He brought it to Patrick Honda. He brought it to Angela. He brought it to Clarence. And Ben Fufana, he brought it to them. They had a serious argument. They said, maybe this is not a good idea. But Abdullah insisted. Abdullah met Gracefield on this issue. Most recently, I can even announce with the LTA something about RTI, the other company, that's a whole different story. They were in front of the president arguing also about why Clarence Massaquoi changed the deal with that other business, and he had to bring in Gracefield and they convinced the president that we carry on. That's a whole different story. We're explaining that. On this one, they were able to convince again, so listen, we can make extra money. We'll reduce this thing. The people will pay and we can make extra money. Now, who all signed on it? Patrick Honda, that everybody beating, Patrick Honda refused to sign on this thing. Patrick Honda refused. We learned that, again, to be frank with you, Angela refused to sign. Those people that signed on it were Clarence Masakwe, Ben Fofana, and Abdullah Kamara. I spelled the 3-2 vote. It was scary that they should charge the people, reduce the people rate, make extra money as fast as the people didn't think that this was going to happen, though, that the people are going to complain. How dumb. How dumb. People are complaining. This is not rescue, Dr. Richardson. Patrick Horner said, we're not going to sound this. Angela said, I am not going to sound this. They have Clarence, the former representative. They have Ben Fofana, I believe he's a former representative also. Where I said, though, he is. And at the end of the day, guess what happened? They made millions of dollars in just 3 weeks. Millions. Millions of dollars in just 3 weeks. So I think somebody said something. It was that quick turnover of cash, that fast money that Richard said, that we can make in a month time before the Liberian people realize, then we can bring this thing back on track. And so people say, but then how can you be so wicked? Now, it's about chasing the money. It's about where is this money going? So today they came out with this statement that Richard said, and everybody saw the statement. They came out with this statement, which is so dumb, seriously. The Liberal Telecommunication Authority today had consultation with the National Association of Telecom. This is so dumb. This is so... but what can I say they are acting? What can I say they are acting? And these are the people that are going into...
Sana, can you put that up and read it for the listeners? I think that statement important.
Please go ahead, Dr. Poplin.
The Liberia Telecommunication Authority today held consultation with the National Association of Telecom Consumers and Mobile Network Operators to resolve public concerns about the pricing of telecommunication services. As a result of these consultations, the LTA has authorized the mobile network operators to begin providing promotional for consumers. During this promotional period, the LTA will remain engaged with consumers and other interest groups and the mobile network operators to fully address public concerns over the price of data and other telecommunication services. Truth be told, this is complete bull crap. This is complete bull crap.
That's why I know where to go, right? And that's why I just kept it, because when I read it in the chat room, I said BS.
Somebody taking advantage of the people and they think we're all stupid here.
It's about the money. They had this promotional deal before this whole thing, people start crying. It's nothing new.
Now they got Dr. Problem.
Dr. Richardson, this is a disgrace to the rescue government. How can President Bouaka, that the people look onto and say, hey man, we have a Joseph coming in. How can President Bouaka treat the Liberian people like this? Because they're enough of blaming Abdullah Kamara. It's that President Bouaka keeping him and tell you operate as well. Just go ahead and do this thing. How can the president this Christmas time rob the Liberian people? How?
But Stanton, if I can just inject here, though, you know, the president is the president. At the end of the day, he has to take responsibility for everything. But look, there's so many other people that are hired and paid well to advise the president. Where's the economic team? Where's the commerce ministry?
Legal advisors.
Religious leaders. We will take time to do this. All due respect, I disagree with you. You can win. You call it.
I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question.
No, I got my human right now to answer your question. That book. All due respect. I got my human right now to answer his question. I beg you. Yeah, please.
What I'm saying is, though, listen. There are people being paid to help the president to lead, and to me, this is from an economic standpoint. Stop it right in its track. You can't overpay poor people. You are constricting the economy. Period. Don't
That's
do
the
it.
problem. These
so-
people
But that's the problem. The advisors.
Now, but let me tell you something. These people that you say been paid, one of them is the chairperson for LTA that stole $2.6 million. It's right there. You can see. You allow him to still work, though. The same chairperson went to the RTA company and make a deal with them that they should get free money. Right? That's number two. Number three, this thing's chairperson said they reduce the Liberian people rate because we can make quick cash. And you saying that don't blame the president? I'm gonna go look for an economic advisor again. I'm gonna go look for somebody. That's a problem. Let me tell my own, you tell your own. We gotta move on. That's a problem. Let me tell my own, you tell your own. Dr. Richardson, this is not President Boaga, Dr. Richardson. President Boaga seeing evil in the eyes and allowing it to happen. President Boaga is saying these things and allowing Abdullah Kamara to destroy LTA. Complain. They met before the president. They met Sylvester Grisby and the commissioners. President Boaga sat there and listened to all of them and sat with Abdullah Kamara and Sylvester Grisby and told them to go ahead and implement. Let's tell the Liberian people the truth. This is their rescue. Christmas time, people hustling. People look hustling for the dime and nickels. And the president said, wait till next year. It's okay to rob the Liberian people?
No, it's not that. The people say they give it discount. Why they negotiate?
It's Richardson, talk to me, man.
This is sad. This is an example of how our leaders are not working for the Liberian people. When we talk about how when you disregard the rule of law, you are disrespecting the people. This is another way that the commissioners at LTA, I say, oh, we can side with these GSM companies. Why should we worry about the people of Liberia? They don't need to have the amenities that we have, or they don't need to live a good life. They don't need to enjoy. They don't need to get high salary. We can't worry about their problems right now. This is exactly what they're saying to us. Okay, you're making almost $94,000 a year as a commissioner. Okay, at least some of you guys. All right, and not even 30% of the people have internet services in the country. So what is your output? What are you doing for the Liberian people? And when we talk about maintaining the rule of law, then people can say, oh no, you guys, you bought or you fighting for this. No, this is what happens when you have no respect for the citizens of Liberia, because you can do whatever and then you can fool us. You can fool them and say, oh, we're going to give you promotional prices. Does that solve the problem? We're going to give you a promotional price so that you won't spend too much data, or your data will be covered as it was covered before. No, that doesn't solve the problem. We want the problem solved. The solving of the problem involves making sure that the money that is spent for data is the same or less. It's the same or less. They shouldn't have pay more for the data right now. They should not have to do that. Liberian people should not have to do that. They need their data. Thank you, Stanton.
Thank you. Let us go to Uncle Sam, Glennie, Dwalu. Oh boy, this is ridiculous, man. For us to sit there and go back again, it's like we haven't Joe we as president. It's like a nightmare. It's like somebody dreaming. All the hustlers are back. All the hustlers, Dwalu. All the hustlers are back. Don, why you always cry for this thing? Why you think that a Liberian can get up and get this thing done and get it straight, Dwalu? Why are we sitting here crying every day?
Don't be
suffering in the country.
Don't be asking me questions you don't want answer to. Let me say this. Look, Sunda, and I really, really mean this. I am not joking. We're not here for a long time. What would it serve you if you truly focus on developing our homeland? And we truly make this right, where our children can come beyond us and they inherit a better location. Senator, I say the thing all the time. Let me frank. That I've said that don't do that to me. $94,000 men packaging over there. You to make $94,000 in the country that's small thing. In a developed country that's small thing to make $94,000. In a dirt poor country. Look, the LTA is a regulatory organization. If they can quickly come up and tell you, say, due to these factors, we're going to reorient. If you can make that decision What was predicated upon the decision you made previously to allow the data to be taken away? The kind of money being charged. Yesterday, Dr. Francine mentioned something here. The same LTE is being offered in most of the African countries. Compare them, contrast them. You cannot, like Dr. Pepper said, burning the poor people constantly with what you need to run the organization of the government. Why should anybody even get gas slipping government? Why? Why are you giving this crash car? Anybody justify to me? Look, I really mean this to my core. I drive to work about an hour away. Maybe I fill up my tank 2 times a week. My tank probably costs me $70 to fill up maybe $140 for the whole week for my car. Wait a minute, 3,000 USD. Think about it. Think about it. Just a little scratch car where the people can get a little bit of comfort. Dr. Prophet says this every single day, Honorable Bwakai. We want this government to succeed. The people are not feeling the effect of their government. This is a crime. This is a crime. When I talk about clean drinking water yesterday as being justice, I mean that to my core. It is justice. They have to feel the effect of the country. It is not about the people on the top. If you cannot make your money before coming to government, you don't belong there because you don't have the intellect to develop, to deliver the kind of result the country needs to develop. I mean it. You don't have it. Develop it in the private sector.
So let them go to who time to speak. Glennie, with John, were you right?
So I think it's really sad. Everybody is talking about this, but I think it is really sad. And I want to appreciate the Liberian people who channeled this course, who kept talking about it and kept posting about it. That Mariah Yakula was one of those who kept talking about this. And so it has now, it's gotten the attention that it needed. It's like when you do such a thing without the consent of the populace, not thinking about what the common people will go through or how much it will cost, and just think that such a thing will be overlooked, I think it's wrong. And now it's like you're trying today and saying, oh, you're reinventing the wheels. We have some people from the government also speaking and saying, oh, well, we're investigating this. But before you got here, why did you even decide to do this? Not thinking about the backlash, not thinking about how it was going to affect people, not thinking about whether people were going to afford this. Why do we always do things backwards and not consider what the implications will be for people? I mean, I'm glad that it's forefront. People are talking about it, and it needs to claim their attention. It's like you said, I live almost an hour and 45 minutes from work. I drive every day back and forth. Even if they pay me mileage or whatever, I don't even get $1,000 for that mileage. You understand? And it's like you're getting all that money. I mean, what is the justification for them not to have looked at salaries now? And then when people are talking about their salaries, people are getting upset. If like you're getting all that money and you're still trying to cheat the common people, this is not right. And I hear Senator saying some people voted for it, some people didn't vote for it. Let them come out to the public and say why they felt it was necessary to do this.
So then that read this out to the people.
Yeah, go ahead, Guado. Go ahead, read it.
Salary, gross salary before they take out taxes at $7,861 USD. That one part, that one man.
That I times that by 12. That I got in 94.
Oh, okay, yeah, mama. That one man salary I reading here. So every month the government again $7,861. They say that is salary. For him to go to work, the government getting $1,572 USD for him to go to work. So that is transportation. Then the government getting scratch card for $300 US. They getting scratch card. The generator went to a hall. The government getting $3,622 USD. AFN get paid Google you, police get paid. The whole way you living in, the whole way you living in, they give you $1,200 USD. They pay a rent for living inside a hall. Then the government getting something called operational gas. When you get put a girlfriend, when you go to get a gas tank too, you get them $1,200 for gas tank. When you put all that one together, that $15,700, they can pay you 4-bedroom house in Wiana. That means Opa talking. That I want to give you 1 million every month.
But let me ask a question.
I have a question, man.
They generator gas. They can be working to the house.
So listen, we'll find that out in season 2. This is an
I want to ask a
encouragement.
question, man.
They're working to the house?
Yeah, what's your question, Conor Gray?
The question, they have transportation allowance, and they get a brand new car, and then they have gas allowance for the transportation.
So it's a good question. Let me say this. Let me show this real quick on the grid for everybody to see. This is Abdullah Kamara. Again, the problem here is that the president opened an investigation on by way of the audit report. And then the president will take action. And the findings from the audit report, as you can see, $2.6 million. Abdullah can't say who he gave the money to or how the money went MIA. 2.6 million. So folks in the rescue government, they are mad as to the relationship between President Bouaka and Abdullah Kamara. Abdullah depends on Sylvester Grisby to go fight for him. Like he told Sylvester Grisby to the president last week, and they have the problem and the conversation because folks have said do not pay that other company, the LTI, or what's the name is, because of the issue relating to the bad business arrangement. And here we are again today talking about reducing the people money, the data, reduce it. This is not rescue. This is not, I will just learn on this real quick. This is not rescue. And to see Clarence Massaquoi agreeing with Abdullah Kamara to see Ben Fofana, but you just come to know those are former lawmakers, man. It is what it is. But this is not rescue. That's why when somebody said the train, I said, what train? That train just went down a hill and crashed. Everybody walking, or they taking keke and pempen. The train been crashed.
Excuse me, Shana.
Okay, go ahead, talk to me, Clinton. Let's go to answer them.
The thing that the question I want to ask is why?
I haven't gone yet, though.
Uncle Sam, just 1 minute. Like,
you go loud, Uncle Sam. You will.
Why is it taking so long for them to deal with this salary issue, right? Because this thing came up with the 15,000 salary, and they are taking so long. They're saying they're reviewing the salaries, and it's taking so long. The decision making process is taking so long, but it's so quick for them to, reduce people data. The decision to reduce people data can just happen like. But to talk about salaries, you got to take the whole 11 months. I don't understand. Yeah. Look, I was reading the comments. Right? I was reading the comments. I see Anthony Cassidy, who's a senior official in the government, and he's saying, and he referred to me, he said, I don't see anything, I feel like this government is doomed and there's nothing for the government. Look, Anthony, we all Liberians. We belong to different political parties. Look, but I tell you, at the end of the day, everyone on this
go take picture, man.
Everyone wants the best, and the problem is everyone wants the best for Liberia. We may disagree for how we want that done. We may disagree about who we want to lead our process, but everybody wants the best for Liberia. So give us something. What do you want me to come here and praise? That you reduce Liberian poor data? Like, what is that? That you got $2.6 million missing? Like, what is it that you want us to praise? Give me something to talk about. I really want to highlight the achievement of the government. I just don't see any. That's just the point I want to.
I want to agree with you, my brother Clinton. Anthony Cassidy know exactly how we fought, the back and forth. He knows exactly. He knows all the promises that were made. They are not living up to those promises. He's an older man. I know him very well. I wish him well. But he need to be truthful. He been with Joseph Bouaka in a very long time, rack of ages. It's about time that he tell the president the truth. To bury these things and hide these things, we got only 3 more years or 2 more years left. It will be a lame duck, the government. The people are crying. They are. Anthony Cassidy is not crying no more. Anthony Cassidy was driving Uber. It was rough, yeah. He was driving Uber. He's not driving Uber anymore. He's sitting in a car that security will drive up and down and protect him. I wish him well. How dare Anthony Cassidy to say that this thing is good for the Liberian people? I mean, those are some of the disgrace that we talk about. Remember, Uber will still be around 5 years from now. I said, let's hear you.
Well, all I can say is this government is a try and error government. Just let's try it to see. There is no fixed mind of doing something. It's just try and error. For some of us, these are the things that we know based on the record of the president coming way back. But this is what is funny to me, though. Today, I went on Facebook and I was seeing a lot of government officials, meaning saying the government can listen. The government can listen to the people. So I'm like, I mean, what is this in this country? So you do something for the people to cry, then you can say, okay, we listen, we can listen. What is the listening about? The thing is so crazy. There's not one of the things I want to really talk about more because we expect these things. The government's only way of getting more revenue is more taxes. They don't have any innovative way of increasing increasing the government's operational money. But the thing that is funny, we beg the people, stop this. The government can listen. Don't do try and error thing, and then you see the government can listen. When you were doing it first, you were only doing it for the saying that the government can listen. I thought that was so funny. I ain't got much to say of this data thing, but this is the rescue government. Anyone that says the country is not rescued, maybe they did not know the meaning of rescue from its onset. The meaning of rescue was simple. Once President Barker is in a convoy as president, the country rescue. Once Patriot Honda Gas can get $300 gas, the country rescue. Once my brother Mo Ali can get this 6,000, they come to rescue. It's not about the common people. They weren't coming to rescue, like, oh, all of the things that were done wrong, we coming to change it to make it better. No. It's about the people themselves getting what they needed. And the fact that they got it, no more rescue again. Rescue been finished a long time. We're done with that thing. The country has been rescued from the day President Barrow was inaugurated. And he sat in a presidential or car, everything was rescued. No more. You were all on the street dancing. You are going on your own. You going now with data and everything. So my people, that's it. That Liberia now.
Let's bring it over, Sam. We got one other topic to finish with tonight. But again, folks, this thing about they put out a press statement, LTA, is an insult to the Liberian people. Ask them how much money they make for the past time since 3-4 weeks into this thing. It's a big insult. It's a disgrace to the rescue government. There's no way you can punish this one. People are saying that, oh, it's not bad. They're getting free scratch card. They got internet. They got Starlinks. Uncle Sam, talk to us.
Look, I just want to remind people about something. Okay, when George Watt took over in 2018, I mean, it was a complete mess right away. $16 billion missing, $25 million map up, the June 7th thing, and the whole stuff. So I got out of my bed when I was just recovering from cancer. I said, let me go see if I can go help these guys. So we got some money. UNDP, National Economic Dialogue, 17 points. They didn't listen. And what happened? The government was put out of office, right? Same thing. Joe Barker, people voted him in to undo some of the transgressions of the Joe administration. METEC, CTN, fix bad roads, stabilize telecommunication price. The thing is, in order to do that, we get the best of the best. Look at LTA. Look at the commissioners. How many of them are telecommunication experts? That's the first thing you need to think about. How do you sit down and discuss technology with a telecommunications company and you have zero knowledge, zero education, and zero expertise in telecommunications? Mobile technology, 55% of the bandwidth. I put something on my very close friend. I'm not going to call his name. I believe is a telco expert. Put in there. 55% of the capacity of the bandwidth is unused. There are issues with the telecommunication industry that need to be resolved. But you have some people now there, these people with no education in telecommunication, no expertise, making $15,000, $3,700 a month for a generator. I live in Gate Town. I got LEC. My bill is about $300 a month. And sometimes the LEC goes, so let's say I pay $450 maximum. My wife works from home. She's home 24 hours a day. We have 2 air conditioners running. And it's only $400. So how do you justify $3,700 to give to one person for generator?
Why should we even pay?
Why should we even pay? I'm saying $3,700, right? And I am in this house 24 hours a day with 2 air conditioners running, the TV running all day, the stove, the microwave, and the whole thing. And I don't even pay $400 with my lifestyle, and you taking $3,700 to pay somebody for a generator. So if you came to rescue, these are the things that you do to rescue. Rationalize the compensation within the bureaucracy, starting from the top, the presidency, all the way down. Okay? And put some of that savings there into something to invest in roads and other things that you need to do in hospital things. But you come and you don't change anything at all. Nothing's changed. I mean, there is nothing, and I dare anybody from the rescue team outside there, and they can go in the chat room and they tell me what is the one thing, some of the 10 things that Liberian people were hungering to change, that they expected to be changed. And those things have been changed today. Let them name me 10 things. And we're going to 1 year. January.
Please call it down to 5, not 10.
Well, okay. Yeah. So the thing is like, what is happening? And believe me, they all know the rescue train has problems. When you speak to them privately, they will be very frank. But when it comes to publicly, they're the same thing that did to George Weah. The same thing that did to George Weah. Okay, this is a repeat of what happened to George Weah. That they will speak to you, some caught on tape, but to speak to the leader himself and say, my man, what you're doing not correct, they're not able. And I think Joseph Parker needs help. He needs a lot of help. Forget about the party. Say what St. Jackson, you will be criticizing me. Forget about me. But there are 10,000 or more other Liberians, more educated, got more expertise than I will ever have, living on this planet that you can call to help you to fix the country. So the excuse that was saying that doesn't get big mouth, forget about me. I'm 71. But there are
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
More expertise that you can call to help you to fix this country. Call those people.
Thank you, Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, thank you. And guys, we got to wrap up with the free port, and then will be free discussion. You can tell me what's on your mind, what you want to talk about. I came with 3 conversations today. One, the United States Embassy's statement, by the way, through the House of Representatives. 2, there's the LTA's issue, which of course is a messed up thing. This is going to harm the government. I care less what our friends and Cody would say. I ask all of you, we send a big shout out to Dr. Twitter that's, contributing 1,000 back arrests. This Dr. Twitter guy, they didn't know him. Everybody was yelling and say, oh yes, they know him. They're calling the countryman. The people start calling him country chicken and all. And so they may give him 1,000 back arrests free to the foundation. And people are going to start eating off it, Dr. Boplek, one Dr. Twitter, right? 1,000 back arrests, and we asked him to come on the show. That's great. Almost $18,000 to $20,000 he's spending just to give back. 1,000 back arrests. So we're happy, and we send a shout out to Dr. Tua. And on this note, I also want to announce, because the Fuller People's Center, and this is the program One Nation Conference for the members of the Fuller Progressive Union, FPU. Liberia, empowering full lives in Liberia for equality, justice, and inclusion. There you have it. They're having a big event coming up on the 22nd of December. They are having a big program on the 22nd of December. And on this, as you see, highlights of the goal, addressing discrimination. I thought we don't have discrimination in Liberia. I really thought so. Seriously speaking, I just thought that we do not have discrimination in Liberia. But again, I'm not going to go there, but I hope I'm wrong. But they are saying addressing discrimination, as you can see, talking about promoting awareness, education and advocacy, legal support, policy engagement. Again, this is from the FUDA community. I also want to take this time to wish all those that are suspended. I wish you guys in your district well. You got Edo Pape Flomo, Abu Kamara, J. Marvin Cole, Alex Noah, Zena Norma, Eugene Cordy, and Frank Safoko. It's all suspended for 30 days, which is almost 4 months, without pay, without benefit, zero. The Christmas is a bad Christmas. I want to send a special shout out to the guys from GSC. Today, they had a great engagement again today. They're doing extremely well in Washington, D.C. Again, you know him, you know the team, Mr. Jackson, the Auditor General, and his team. The engagement was great, and I'm getting a positive report and positive result from their meeting and their engagement. We'll speak to this more often, and we'll talk more tomorrow. We hope we can have them on the show to talk to us. And also, I'd like to just say, Magdalene Dakosa and Magdalene have taken over from at the Ministry of Commerce. We wish her well. We hope that she will perform accordingly for the sake of Liberia. She would do that which she was called to do. I want to send a special birthday treat to my one and only, the only mother-in-law in my life. It's not a Glenny that I get food different mother-in-law. Okay, the only mother-in-law in my life. I like to send a birthday
The more
shout out.
the merrier, Papa. The more the merrier.
Let me do my thing now. We gotta go. Sorry for calling your name. I want to send a birthday greeting to my mother-in-law, Kulba Mova. Again, she's everything. Listen, there's a long history. All these years, we celebrate her. We wish her well. I will be leaving the show to be going over there, eat some fufu and soup, double ghee, and all the good food, man. This Loma Pera woman know how to cook it. Put our finger in it, and I am not going to share with anybody else, but we wish Kluba Moba from the entire family. My wife, her daughter, Lawa, and I, all the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, everybody, we show you more love, and we wish you Godspeed. Happy birthday today. Again, folks, National Food Authority, there's a big one coming up. You know, a big problem coming from the National Food Authority. The problem is not a problem about, I think, financial problem. The problem is about overstaff, you know, sending remittance to the national coffer. You understand that from the meeting today, with everything they got to be spending 1.9 million on salary every month. I want to ask you though, 1.9 million on salary every month. And maybe they will not be able to contribute to the national budget 2025. That's what we are hearing. What's your take on Dr. Rich is saying? The National Port Authority, more information will come from that end. I just think that Sekou Dukle was doing well, and he is doing well with all the trouble coming that way. But what's your take? Let's talk about NPA. What do you know as we close the program tonight?
Still, first, I just want to say kudos to my fellow panelists because, you know, I'm usually the first one that you have to ask your questions to. And I have not, you know, had a lot of time to think about it, but I give it my best shot. But I see my panelists pick up on things that I should have said or wanted to say that I may have forgotten. So thank you, fellow panelists, for picking up on that. But, you know, $1.9 million on salary. I have some questions as to how many people do they have working at the port, and what are they actually doing, you know, that commensurate with this salary, and how much are they paying? So I have all of these questions, and I can speak more if I know, you know, who they're paying, what they're paying, how they're paying, how many employees was the previous arrangement. But it sounds a little bit too much, you know. So do you have any data on what the accomplishments of the port in recent time, since in the past year? If we knew that, That might be helpful. For 1.9 million is just a lot.
And that's why I'm saying, because we are gathering more information. The National Port Authority Director met member of the Senate today. Again, he met a few days ago. He met the House of Representatives under the new leadership of Richard Cohen. They are asking for, listen, $1.9 million is a lot of money. They're requesting for more documents, and that's why the reason why we're going to pause a little bit, but just an overview as to what you think. And, but again, I don't know what your take is. What are you hearing from the National Port Authority? Dualu, let's bring you on. Then we'll go to Uncle Sam, Colonel El Remy Gray, and Clinton. Dr. Richard said you can check the inbox.
Okay, and let's get something straight. This administration has made some mistake, but it's 10 times better than President Weah's administration. Don't make the comparison. Don't be fooled. President Weah had no business near the presidency. Yes, there are some mistakes being made, but Honorable Bouaka has it within him to actually turn this country around if he chooses to. And I believe the president has not fully chosen to change this country around, but he does have it within him. President Weah did not have it. Don't make the comparison. They're not wanting it. I want people to understand this. Criticizing something bad in your country, it is not directly criticizing the president. I don't know why we find it very difficult to understand this. When I criticize that LTA is charging Liberia an exorbitant amount of money, it doesn't mean you hate President Bouaka or you're criticizing the government. I want to say this to Stanton. I've always advocated for this. Until the legislature standardizes the salaries in the country, irrespective of where you work, this sort of thing is going to continue. The LTA, the National Port Authority in the Republic of Liberia, is not actually taking the amount of taxes that is capable of putting into the government because of the poor conditions of the poor, the lack of standardization, the lack of proper process of the poor. People are taking the goods through Ivory Coast, through Guinea, through Sierra Leone to bring into Liberia. We are losing heavily. Until we standardize the salaries in the country. I've recommended from G1 to G10, for example. G1 is entry level, so it doesn't matter if you work at Commerce or you work at a pre-poor. If your G1 is a salary at 300, your G1 is 300. If you're G7, it doesn't matter where you work. G7, you set a criteria. If a certain degree, certain experience, etc., that can be defined through legislation. But we don't want to do it. If Dr. Brober becomes the LTA director, he has almost total discretion how he administers that agency when it comes to salary distribution. This is lunatic, folks. It's crazy. It's very crazy. How can we run a country like this from time immemorial? Everybody that comes to the free pool, and guess what, Santa? I want you to go to the free pool one day. If you get to the free pool, everybody who works on the antibody is decided by based on how I feel, and I bring my own people in and I debit up the salary. Let me get Liberian people a secret that everybody in Liberia knows. Do I do hire Colonel Gray? I hire Gamma Clinton. I hire Dr. Brober. I would say my mayor till 1,005, but they're ready taking 500. They call it Reba. So that 1,000 are coming to me every month. So if I hire 10 people, they're all paying me back my money. Their salary on time. They cannot say anything. Because we are not standardizing. The CSA has to standardize salaries in the country, irrespective of which ministry you work in or which government agency. We can just leave it to people.
Wow, I didn't know that. I got to find out on that. I read back. So on each 1,500, they're getting. So if you get 20 people, wow, that's 20.
Yeah. So that way you can keep people there.
Yeah. Dr. Bubler, let's hear you.
You know, Stanton, we have a problem, and it translates into economic injustice. So when Ellen Sirleaf came, she tried to attract talent back to the country. So you come, you say how much you are making in the other country you were at, they try to match it. The intent was good. The program quickly got out of hand. It wasn't modulated or moderated, and then they maintained these high levels of salary. So just take a quick snapshot. That LPRC, we don't refine anything at the storage facility. They pay plenty of money there. You got Maritime, that's a collection agency because you fly our flag of convenience. You got LTA, that's a regulatory agency. Only in Liberia, you will pay a regulatory agency, which is practically a non-productive unit, this kind of mad money and benefits. But I go across the board. government ministers, stuff like that. So you have a situation where a lot of our resources, and we talk about it when we look at the budget, is committed to recurring expenses, meaning at the top. If you move it to the bottom, you generate jobs, you support small business, you grow gross domestic product, you increase our purchasing power, you increase our ability to export. Our trade balance become better. Liberia is better. So what I hope this president can do is start a bold program to reduce salaries and cap them. You cannot justify paying big dollars for small performance. LEC, the manager get paid good money. Only providing life for 4 counties. I'm in one of those counties. And I can just tell you yesterday, the day before, I was using generator. So we keep rewarding poor performance with big perks and privileges. I don't see how the president and his people don't see it. It's an economic injustice. Change the narrative, shift our economic trajectory of the country better. Look, we got challenges here, but the country is very fixable. We need the will.
Thank you very much. Well, Conagre, you want to go and let's talk about this NPA, Conagre?
Oh, we're talking about the NPA right now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I still believe that there was a reason why our National Port Authority was referred to as Freeport. We were in that region, one of the leading, we had one of the leading port authority or port amenities in the region. Matter of fact, people used to ship their stuff to our country, and we had almost everything were American product. And today we have all kinds of fake product in our region because we have to go out to other neighboring countries to get goods and bring into the country. Our port has become a no-go place for business people. If you ever attempt to ship things through the National Port Authority, of course, you will kick the price down to the consumer. That's how much, how much degrading we have brought up our National Port Authority. There was something, one of those political leaders were talking about simplifying our port. Today we have MedTech, Distech, and what have you, all there milking the people. And all of these kinds of things are not okay for any economy such as ours. But one of the poorest countries, at least if we have one economic activity that is promising that is benefiting the people, at least we'll go forward. But you know what? The National Port Authority was that gateway that assisted our economy, that attracted people from the region to come to us. Today, we don't have it. We have to go through Guinea. I just shipped some cars. They're going through Guinea. You understand? I don't mind. I'll go drive in there because you know what? It's not I'm not patriotic enough, but the car will cost me more to free than than the price I pay for it at the parking lot. What's the benefit? So we have to be able to go back and try to clean some of this milking agency that are just there, the like of the MedTech. They do nothing to us. Before then, what were we doing right that we didn't need these companies to be there? I think we should begin to think back of going back to those days when people were attracted to us because we had a viable port of entry into our country. We don't have it today. So I think the president should be looking at reforming at least the port authority of Liberia, reform that sector and drive all this other MedTech and CTN and all of these aspects that burden us, especially the consumer. And let's make progress as a country. We can develop Liberia through that port of entry. If we can do that successfully, at least President Bwaka would have accomplished a lot.
So you make mention about CTN. CTN getting $3.6 million. And you know how much you're giving the port? 300,000. I hope I'm not giving anybody a stroke. The very CTN that we beat George Panel, we are on. They are making, and daughter, I know if you want to cry, just go in the back and come back. $3.6 million. And the Freeport is receiving 300,000. Medtech. Today, Medtech said we will comply with the FIA, the Financial Intelligence. You know, we read those letters, right? Medtech were insulting FIA. Okay, so you remember the letter we read here? Today, we received from our sources. They replied them and said, we apologize, we will comply. These are all the documents you're asking for. Medtech and LRA, they are in a big corrupt. What are these people doing this to Liberian people? They charge the Liberian people 3 times more. Medtech. And they are not reporting the money. So partners have agreed to work with FIA to expose Medtech and Double Jara LRA. And Double Jara said he didn't know. How can you, the LRA boss, say you don't know? We got the documents. 3 times more. If you sell your car, like you said, Colonel Gray, you're supposed to pay 1,000. You'll be paying 3,000 or how you call it, $4,000. You have to pay 3 times more. FIA want to complain, Medtech said it's none of your, you know what, business. Today, I'll put the letter up. Let the people see it. Who do this to us? How can, but you know what? Cynthia, the woman is right, because Cooper Craig get a woman another contract to do the permits. The C woman from CTN, he gave the woman another contract again and said everything you do is good. Because the woman have, huh?
I said, are you kidding?
Do you know that somebody I can joke? I don't joke when I'm talking about
you know, it's a rhetorical statement.
No, I know what you mean, Uncle Sam. I know what you mean. But Cooper Craig give the woman something that never permit. They have that contract. If she partner with somebody, they have that contract again. Because the woman have a special relationship with a special family. So they can give her anything she asks for. You know, you don't let the rescue train, there's none. The symbolic rescue train in Vermont is disappeared. Our Liberian people will suffer. And again, we every day we have to come and apologize to them. But I remain hopeful. Medtech. Let me put a letter up. I think that's the time for you to speak. These guys, they are sucking the juice from Nigeria. What is it?
I'm talking yet.
Uncle Sam, go ahead. Go ahead, Uncle Sam. Fatima won't come on. We're not bringing her on today. Fatima won't come on. We're not bringing her on today.
Bring Fatima on. Bring Fatima on.
No, I know you're going to talk inside. No, I know you're going to talk inside. We're not bringing her on today.
Uncle Sam, go ahead. Go ahead. Uncle Sam, go ahead.
Why you say Deno Koye? Dwalo, is it Deno Kon? Okay, listen. Okay, look. This is one of the sweetest countries on the planet. On Wednesday, I drove around trying to do my little charity thing, you know, through Jamaica Road, Logan Town, Caldwell, Wemba Town, all over the place. I was just like meeting people and doing what I was supposed to do. And the energy in this country is so positive. With people, you can do a whole lot. Because people that make up the economy, and if you give these people just education, small scale training, they earn an income, they contribute to taxes, everything will just, it will not be a perfect country, but you build a middle class, right? And Dr. Brappa will know this. In any economy, you want the income curve to resemble what they call a bell curve, right? So you have very poor people at one end and very rich people at the other end, but in that middle, You got middle class people. They're the one that go to the fast food places. They don't want to buy the rice. They don't want to do all the stuff. And this they grow the economy. But here is it. The port in this country, which is the gateway to the economy, Charles Taylor decided that he was going to give the inspection to a company called BVAC. That's a way of eating money. That purely was it, and to finance his other activities. So when Ellen came in, I thought she was going to like all the bad things that she said Taylor was doing, like in terms of all the relationships with people at BVAC, but she did not. She signed BVAC. You know the story, Stanton. And then when George Biden came into power, they decided to bring their own thing in. They brought in CTN. It's a Sierra Leonean company by a woman called Aminata, and they were chased out of Sierra Leone.
And let me just say this: it's Fadiga Hassan friend, by the way. Hassan Fadiga, the one I want to show you. Let me put it. Go ahead.
So Metec, CTN, what do you call it in inside container tracking? You put your bill of lading, you put the bill of lading number into a tracking. It will track your container. It will tell you exactly where it is. You don't need to pay any extra money for no container tracking. This destination or inspection, or what they call it, origin inspection, it used to be done by hand, by accountants. What they would do, and every product, you know, Dr. Brooklyn, every product has a classification, right? And that product classification is global. That's how you determine what is our product and how much what custom duty. That's not rocket science. And you can do it. You don't have to do it manually anymore. You do it electronically, right? So all of this thing is just to eat money. The port, 1,009. Dr. Richardson, you were asking why is the port the compensation so high? Because my government had 1,900 people employed the port, and before Ellen was about 300 or 400 who brought in 1,900. But guess what? The new government came in, instead of trying to reduce that wage bill, they added more people onto it. Because, you know, the government in this country is a way of creating what they call it in the safety social net. For people who don't have income, they come to power, they get them jobs. Whether they qualify for it or not, they just chunk them there. 2019, when I came to Liberia, I went to Central Bank. There were 10 people sitting at the reception area as reception. 10 people. And every floor I went on, there were security officers on the floor. This is the Liberia. Liberia is a patronage country. And the government is the largest what? Donor of patronage. The largest employer. My belief was that Joseph Jimmy Walker will come in, bring in the best and the brightest, and let's do some reforms in the governance system. Like Dwala was talking about job classification, right? From GS1 all the way to GS12 or whatever, right? To determine the job content, and you can have across the board. But it is not happening because the rescue team is not ready yet. Maybe they'll be ready to do it. But those are the simple things that can improve the lives of the people, because if you reduce the payroll and put some of that money into hospital, into school, into infrastructure and all of that, you'll be a better country. But let's see what Joe Boyka does in year 2. They have the national agenda. And Stanton, you were asking about the arrest agenda, who will monitor it. They have a monitoring mechanism for the arrest agenda. And they've announced that they're putting this arrest agenda into action. I read it. I'm not too impressed about it. It talks about a lot of things that it will do. Good things, but it doesn't say how. It said it will cost, I think, 8.5, $8.6 billion over the next 5 years. I don't know how they're going to raise that money. I wish them well, but that cannot happen without critical expertise in all the sectors. And I'll close on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Clinton and Asadova close us. We need to go. It's 7:10. Well, I can leave though, right?
No, you're not eating that tteokbokki anytime soon. Look, but
before you speak, I just want to just clarify something in my head. Didn't we just hear that there were $4 million that the NPA was, I mean, $2 million NPA was given to the government, and that was the most they have ever given or before? Didn't we just do a story on that recently?
Yes, it was three. It was 3 million. Great.
Okay. And this was you're celebrating that because the government that when they given $4 million a year versus this government was given 3 point something million dollars, right? I just wanted to.
It was 3 million. It was 3 million that was remitted into the government account. But since then, things have not been well financially.
Okay.
The overburden of this thing.
You're sitting up after that money.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering because all of a sudden things are not.
Look, I just wanted to.
You wasn't wondering. You playing politics with that question. You wasn't wondering.
Look, I just wanted to say that I will be the most disingenuous person in the world if I sat on this platform and said that the We administration was a perfect administration, that the We administration did not have any challenges, that everything was smooth. Look, in our administration, the We administration had a lot of challenges, but I can't let this narrative pass when Dwalu's tried to paint this narrative that nothing went on in 6 years, that this administration was just a bunch of people just sitting down and doing nothing, and they did absolutely nothing. You have to understand also the constraints of the administration. By the time the administration took over the economic constraints in the country, you had poor the country. The inflation in 2017, I believe, was about over 12%. By 2022, the administration had brought the inflation down to 7.2%, a single digit. You can tell me that building housing units for poor Liberians was nothing. You can tell me that we were going back and forth to build hospital, that was nothing. You can tell me that the people who benefited from the 14 military hospital now is nothing. You can tell me that we're walking around the night and delegating street lights, that was nothing. You can tell me that all the feeder roads around the country that this We administration did and begin the construction of the RRA road, the largest road that is going to be in the country right now. You can tell me that all of that is nothing. You're talking about administration. You say we can't compare the We administration with the Black administration only in the last 11 months. You on the platform. When was the last time? I mean, at least since I joined this show, when was the last time we broke in major development from this administration that we can all be proud? Every 2 weeks is one mess up incident of corruption of this. Stop. It's one thing, to criticize, and there are many things in the We administration. There are several things, policy differences, leadership differences that I have with the administration that I talk about. But we cannot sit here and say over the last 6 years, Josh Weah did nothing. That is not a narrative to be flying around with. So I think we should close. I don't have anything to talk about MPA. I mean, they shouldn't be. I don't understand how much Western workforce is and how much money they're spending on salaries that they are not able to remit to the national budget. But again, they did $3 million. I don't know. It was just to raise the political morale, and now they're having, issue. But hey, the rescue mission is here, and we'll be here. We'll be here to watch it go. Like I said,
I got one question for you.
Yeah, ask one question.
You were asking where you like bureau when Joe are in power. You're going. Why you don't stay there when Joe are there? What if you don't really quota? What if we on the road? Boss. After 2 days, what if you don't really talking about?
Come on, Dwalu, man.
Why you stay in Labro?
Come on, Dwalu, man.
Why you stay in Labro?
I was in Liberia for 4 years, Dwalu.
Yeah, why you stay with Joe?
2022, I was in Liberia. Oh, okay. Stand up, ask your friend.
He get back out on speed dial. He just put a picture of Jeremiah. Why in elaborate?
As it though.
Yeah, thank you. Duadu is not serious, man. Forget what Duadu is. He's joking. Duadu, you wanted to be city mayor. Why you didn't stay there to be stood up for the city mayor job? Why you here, America? Your questions can just be like someone joking. Go back there and go be city mayor. So, my brother Clinton, you took it off my mouth, and thank you for saying it. We are not anymore coming on the show to argue about what we did, what Joseph Parker is doing. Listen, the people in Liberia lived when George Weah was president, and they are living when Parker is president. They absolutely know what we did, and they know what Parker is doing. Not sitting in one AC house and you just talk. That thing don't move on anymore. The people there go in the market house in Liberia and go tell the people, say George Weah things were hard, none of things better. Go there.
I mean, I know where
Just
go.
the only thing I warn you, my man, I come in and me tell my time. The only thing I will want you when you going to say that, make sure you carry BB things to block your ear. Because I want you to come and say you can't hear. Because the heavy slap that will be coming for you for years to there. You say you will never go back there to say that. Listen, like Kamun there said, I was in a weird government. I personally had issues even with Minister Simon Toure, who is a big brother to me. We had issues. There were problems in Weah's government. There were issues. Things weren't bread and butter. I was on spoon. There were times I disagreed with the government on spoon. Some critical issues. People would call me and say, well, I said, well, yeah, we have to. But the truth of the matter is, the country Liberia, Weah and Bwakai, no, I'm sorry. Who knows? Things may change, maybe sometime in the future. But as of now, my brother, the country has no hay, no tea. That I can tell you. It's absolutely crazy. Everywhere you turn, is something that you don't know what is going on. Everything is turning the other way. So coming here and talk about Weah, you can have your own envy, jealousy over Weah. That's your problem. But the real truth is, the people are there. But to the issue of the poll, the poll were acting like this. When you are a young person, you're running, you just start running fast. In no time, you get tired. Then the people can't just pop at you. You just say that. We were here. They were causing no all around the place. Oh. Since Liberia was funded, we carry plenty of money. I'll just laugh and say, now the people know say that 6 years you can run government for not even 1 month. 6 good years. They almost let you look in the account. You see 2 million in the account. You say, that plenty of money out. You don't know that 6 years you running government for. So then they can't do anything. Even you and I talk about this. We got all of the new employment that was done in the current administration from the port. We got everything. The employments were all done from a letter from the MD. HR, make this person this. Let their salary be this. We got everything. We got all of the employment. And when we saw that, I thought that these people will face problem on payroll sometime in the future. Today, it is showing its face. Who can share it? Pay this person, the person used to be this, make their new position to be this, and pay them this. That's not how you run government. But again, that's the way it goes, man. If you get something from the back door, you don't know how it happens. Unfortunately, we will still have more problems from the port. We will have more problems from that particular port. A lot of things. Duadu, continue to compare your George Weah government and Baka government. Like one in our own shoe.
Amatan, thank you so much. I say, and to the audience, man, thank you so much.
You count on you be running your time finish.
But no, I'm finished. I'm talking about when I say, let me talk about. I'm coming to you. Don't worry. That the brother says
talk about George Weah and
Baka. The country about when I say I beg you now. Hold your phone. Wait now, let me talk. Me yourself more now.
After 12 o'clock, we like.
The people say Isaac. The people say we must tell our salary.
Duadu is closing last, then we leave.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm part of my closing. Look, that the brother says something.
Oh, that was our closing.
But guys, listen now.
Yeah, man, we tired. But that Friday night, man, you man go to your wife.
But let the brother say that the country is not so bad up that we can.
In a country, you can go up. Man, don't go up.
The country is still fixable. We just have to make
Go to your wife.
effort to fix it. Come on now, Uncle Sam. Let me get my man. The people got to listen. The people listening are begging you. Uncle
Dwalu,
Sam.
what do you want weird stuff out there? You stop hearing about it.
You go I got out
What
and
do you
talk
want
it.
to Dwalu?
Yeah, you want to talk it. You go I got out and talk it. The country.
Dwalu, you got plenty more days to talk the thing.
Ask about.
Well, I say we let Dwalu talk.
Actually, let Dwalu finish.
I'm begging you. Look, at no point in Liberia did I ever work in government. In fact, when I was in Liberia, I had 27 employees. I was creating jobs in the country. I can come and go as I so please. I'm a private sector man. Both of you worked in government. You claimed the country was okay. If the country was okay, go back there and live there. Let's see if you still maintain the standard of living that you were maintaining in Liberia, where you had 6 girlfriends. Let's see if you can maintain that standard of living. Let's see, my man. Let me feel my own. You try your own.
I have to respond.
Let me, like, baby. Let's do this. Okay? If I'm in Liberia, I'm an asset. You in Liberia, you are burden on the people. There is a contrast between you and I. But for you to compare President Weah to President Boakai, it's crazy. President Weah ruled for 6 years. This president we have now is just going 1 year. And now we admit, unlike both of you, that can I admit that President Weah did anything wrong. I've admitted on the show a zillion times what this president has done wrong. My man, that you the one. You were all over in Joao office going up and down. You leave that topic. Okay? And the issue here is, for us to fix this country, we got to be true to ourselves. Say now, do you want to picture you put it, but I'm going to borrow you. We'll do everything we can to make sure the country goes forward. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, let's be frank with ourselves. People that ask it, people that my brother, Governor Clinton, our focus should not be in government. Our focus should be in the private sector. Let's create some jobs. I said, we're going to go to Liberia when you get government job. And we are not coming back. You can go all you can down. It's been a finish. We're not going government again easy than you. Use your brain. In the country here, you made $17 an hour all day.
So
I want to say thanks to all of you. It was a beautiful show, guys. Guys, wait.
Let me give Dwalu good news, man.
I say I beg you, wait with me. It was a beautiful show, guys.
We respond to Dwalu.
You want to close? I just want to appreciate.
No, man, don't respond to Dwalu, man. Forget what Dwalu.
I just want to appreciate everyone. Dr. Richard said, I give it back to you. I'm out. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. By God's grace.
Dwalu, I got good news for you, though. I got news for you, Dwalu.
When do you get BG?
I met someone yesterday, like who was talking. No, a man, actually, not one of your. He was talking about your stuff you were trying to establish. Like, he told me he got 10,000. He wanted to invest. We were just talking about you, actually, and I thought that was good.
But listen, Dwalu.
I'm not responding to all I have.
Yeah, but go ahead and come on quickly.
Dwalu, my man.
Dwalu, don't respond to me, man.
That have a projection to make.
Hey, man, you gotta let color very close. And
yeah,
color close, yeah. And now, you here, Dwalu, is that okay?
Yeah, 3 all will be a small bag. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me close and leave. But one of the things I was hoping that this administration will touch on is the to limit the amount of encounter with physical cash by public servants. I was looking more that this government will transition into an automated government. Use that automated pay system where government will know that if someone is paying $5, they'll pay timely and don't have to go through all that bureaucracy, including the description given by our brother Dwalu. That was one of the very first steps Rwanda took. They use technology to make sure that they generate government revenue reliably. We have a telecommunication agency that will pay all the money, but they collect less money. Now, if you want to improve the fiber optics, which I heard were being constructed, I don't know the status of that fiber optics today, but we must use technology to our advantage. This idea that physical money, you go get flag receipt, those are all ancient way of thinking. I was hoping that President Boakai would use, we use a more modern or contemporary way of collecting money. If we can collect $5 reliably without having to pay $2 out of it to someone just because to to collect pay from me. If we can pay money at the port without even going to go encounter medtech and all of this, we will generate money that we don't even have much to rely on the West or donors to give us money.
Thank you.
We are not leveraging technology as a modern nation. That's why we're struggling. So that's all I have to say that. But to be frank, I think our country will make progress if we begin to think of those kinds of modern way of generating revenue as opposed to using Mark Comfort and Brother Ali to collect money.
Absolutely, color correct. So, Dwalu, I want to just hand the show over to you. I'm going. Okay, bye bye.
Yeah, well, yeah, got no, me and my 2 cities.
Yeah, no, my man. Clinton. I hope you're not responding to Duado. Clinton, Duado called you. Clinton, Duado called you and I liability to government, but he called President Bwaka asset to government. Then you will respond to him.
Asset to
the
what?
man called President Bwaka asset. President Bwaka been working government before your grandma was born. He said that asset. Then you and me. Why you respond to the man? My man, I beg you, don't waste our time on the show. That man is a joker. Can't you see that man less joking? He left a joke. Kamune, he talking nothing. Kamune, he talking nothing. You were President Bwaka.
Did you?
I went to La Bro.
You want to apologize to
them? Let's talk seriously about asset and liability here, man. I read President Bwaka asset and we liability. Jesus, God help
you. Make small money.